Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
Hello, Voices of Wrestling listener. Dave Ryan here. Have you ever wondered to yourself how many hidden gems are hidden away inside the last years of World Championship Wrestling? Have you ever asked yourself how many tenuous gags can be made about the name Mike Enos? And have you ever thought about what it sounds like for two Irishmen to interpret a very chaotic company through its B-show? The answers to all this and more are just a click away. Check out Days of Thunder every second Thursday on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Thank you so much for supporting WWE and NXT and me. You're so sweet.
You are listening to the Flagship Podcast with your hosts, Joe Lanza.
You know what I want out of my wrestling? I want Bryan Danielson versus Yuji Nagata, and then a week later, Bryan Danielson versus Hechison. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. That's what I want out of my wrestling.
Rich Craich. I hate my life so much where there's so many things I don't know about. You said, hey, who was the large-breasted, who was General Hugh G. Erections, Dame?
And you know that.
And I knew it without even a second. Oh, that's Major Guns with 2 N. Yeah, I got that.
Dun, 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 dun. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. Dun, 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 dun. Boom.
And we are live on the Flagship Podcast. I am Rich. He is Joe. Joe, what's happening? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well. Another week.
Caught me mid-sip there.
Mid-sip? What are we sipping on today? We Coke Z-ing or are we getting wild?
Yeah, I got a Coke Z with chocolates and strawberry from Sonic.
Interesting. Okay. So
no free ads. But
I was going to say, Sonic. If they want to sponsor, that'd be fantastic if Sonic sponsored us. So, all right. So, and when you go, because you have a phobia about ordering weird named things, right? So,
yes.
Do you have to say anything special for this, or do you just say like, give me this with this and no ice, or what? Like, you don't have to say anything silly to get this thing, right?
I just said it the way I said it to you.
Okay. Now, is it supposed to be said a different way, or are you supposed to say I want it like? Because they have all the gimmicks. I know they have a lot of gimmicks at the Sonic.
No, it's Sonic. You just tell them what you want in your drink.
Okay.
The fruit gimmicks or the fucking chocolate, whatever the fuck, But
because it's like dirty. What is the make it dirty? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah. There's one where you can make your drink dirty, and I will not say that at the drive-thru.
Okay, so now yours is not dirty. Adding chocolate to it does not make it dirty, correct?
That's not dirty.
Okay, what is dirty?
Dirty is I think it's lime and then some kind of vanilla gimmick. I think. Okay. Hold on, let me look this up. No, coconut.
That doesn't seem that dirty. That doesn't seem that dirty, but
it's coconut cream and lime. Now they'll add that to any drink, but you have to say, can you make it dirty? And I won't say that. I forced myself to say it once just because I wanted to try it. It was very delicious, I have to say. But
sounds quite
maybe
refreshing. Sounds quite refreshing on a hot summer's night, but
it is. But maybe I should just say, can I have that with coconut cream and lime?
That's what I would like you to try. I would like you to try next time you go to the Sonic. Say, and if they say you have to say make it dirty, then you're at a stalemate, and I don't know what you do there. You have to decide what to do in that moment.
They're going to hear my tires screech, and I'm going to get the hell out of there. I mean, just pull off because I'm just not comfortable saying it. It's
There's nothing worse than restaurant gimmicks and like gimmicky names and stuff. Like Starbucks, the classic is like, yeah, I'll do like a medium coffee, and they're like, do you mean a tall or a venti? And you're like, just fuck, you know what I mean. The third in the lineage of your sizes, just give me that one. You know what I'm talking about. Like
the jerk behind the counter is just trying to make you say it.
Yeah.
So
fine.
Yeah.
Give me a tall. Okay. Do you want me to say tall? Yeah. I'll say tall. It's fine. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm already annoyed by Starbucks employees because they're baristas. They have that little fancy name for pouring coffee out of a. Give me a break. Barista. You're not doing anything special. You're not doing anything special. You're no different than the guy down at Burger King. So why do you have a special name? The guy down at Burger King doesn't have a special name. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if they have burger artists or whatever. Because I forget what place. Someplace I went
Subway.
to. It was burger artist or something. I was like, get over yourself for God's sakes.
It's Subway sandwich artist.
Oh, that's the sandwich artist. Yeah. Fuck off! Come on.
Again, you're not a sandwich artist. You're
also not making art. I'm telling you what I want, and you're just doing it. That's the opposite of art, right? That would be the antithesis of an artist. Would be.
Right.
A random person stands next to you and tells you what to do, and you do it. That's not art. That's not the furthest thing from art.
Yeah. Now, maybe in some fancy – I know nothing about coffee. Maybe in some fancy coffee establishment there's some skill involved in making a cup of coffee. I wouldn't know. But I can tell you there's no skill involved in making a Starbucks coffee. They're just following the specs and the recipes that the corporation gives them. And you're not a barista. You don't need a fancy name for that. It annoys me. And I've never been inside of a Starbucks because I don't drink coffee, but it still annoys me.
That's fair. That's fair. I think there are a couple people now. Hopefully we can get somebody that works at Starbucks. Maybe they'll jump into the chat room and let us know. I think there are different hierarchies, and there are probably people there that can make some very interesting stuff and very good stuff and very talented stuff. You don't think so?
False. No. You order your drink, and they have a little chart. Listen to me. They have a little chart that says 1 pump or 2 for whatever gimmicks you're. They don't. It's nonsense.
I see your point. At a smaller establishment, maybe somebody can.
There might be some craft involved.
Right.
There might be some craft involved, and then I will be slightly less annoyed with calling yourself a barista. I'll still be annoyed. Don't get me wrong. I'm easily annoyed, but I'll be less annoyed in that case if there is some craft. There's no craft involved as a Starbucks employee. No craft whatsoever. It's literally no different than the guy at Pizza Hut who you order a Supreme, and he has a chart above his head that tells him how much beef, how much pepperoni, how much cheese. It's the same thing as Starbucks. There's no art. There's no craft. There's no skill involved. So you don't need the fancy name. What are you Googling?
No, I'm looking. People in the chat room have really gotten mad at me saying that art is not being told what to do and doing it. People are saying, what about art commissions? But again, art commissions, I'm giving you a rough idea of what I want. I'm not literally telling you. It's not like you tell the sandwich. If you told a sandwich artist, you know what? I like Italian food, but yeah, I like salami and I like, and then he goes, okay, I got it. And then he makes it. That would be, that'd be a sandwich artist. I'm literally pointing and saying green beans. If I did an art commission and then I drew the fucking picture for the guy and told him to color in the lines, that's not art, right? It's a little different.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much respect. I don't really have much respect for art either, so I don't know. I'm the wrong guy to ask.
You're probably the wrong guy to ask for sure, but I feel
care.
like because people bring, Michelangelo did commissions or whatever. Yeah, but Michelangelo, I think he had a little bit of creative liberty in that. He didn't literally say, "Tell me exactly what you want and do it for me, and then I'll kind of finish it, and then that'll be it." That's essentially what the Subway sandwich artist does. There's no craft in that. It's all in the menu. You either say I want the spicy Italian, I want the fucking and then you tell them, you point and say black olives, green peppers,
right.
lettuce. Like, that's not art.
What I was gonna say was, if you really want to throw off the Subway sandwich artist, you order off the menu and you say, give me the spicy Italian. They get a look of fear. They don't know what to do because 99% of the people that go in there tell them what to do every step of the way. Give me that bread. Give me that meat. Give me a little more of that meat. Give me that cheese. No one orders off the menu. When they get that, they have to turn, it's chaos.
They look
and
see
turn
what
around.
it is. Yeah, you know what I should do next time? And I don't know why I would ever be in a Subway, but if I do go in next time, I might just say, what do you, chef's choice, or, give me what do you think? What do you think?
Pick one off the menu. And it's like, I'm telling you, they break down. It's chaos.
It sounds
They got to
awesome,
call the other guy over. They're like, Pete, come here. What? He's saying he wants a spicy Italian. What is that? Sometimes they're just like, no, you tell me. You tell me what the because they panic. They're like, I don't know what goes on that. They just go down the line and do what they like. You're saying black olives, a little more black olives. Yeah. So, but it's Subway, same. I mean, Starbucks. Come on, barista, get lost with that. I mean, I know it's not their fault. Like, they're not asking to be called baristas. They go and apply for a job and they get a job, and now they're being told that they're a barista, right? So it's not even necessarily their fault that I'm annoyed with them. I guess I'm annoyed with Starbucks for calling them baristas and just eschewing the small, medium, large for these other dopey terms that's just going to confuse people. Do you ever get tripped up, or do you have it memorized?
I got it now. Yeah, at my point in life, I've got it. Yeah, it's the tall, the venti, and then the grande is the big guy. Or the shorts, too. They're short. I forget. Tall is me, which is annoying.
You're confused right now.
Well, the tall is the worst
right
one. Everybody gets it. Short is like the shortest one. I think they have a really, really small one. I forget what that one's called. Who cares? Yeah. Short is like the smallest amount you can get. Tall is 12 ounces, which is annoying because tall is barely. And then there's grande, which is above tall. Then there's venti, and then there's some other one where they just give you a canteen full of coffee or whatever. I forget what that one's called. Nobody orders that one. But tall being technically the second out of 4 is rough, right? That's rough.
I mean,
in any other line, if you said tall, you would assume that that's a relatively large size on the scale.
Well, grande sounds like the biggest.
Grande, right? And then that's also not even the biggest either. Venti is bigger than that. And then there's that other one. I forget. There's a fifth one that's massive. It's like 47 ounces. They have to bring a big old cup from the back. And it's like, you don't need that much coffee, dude. Like, what are you doing? Trenti or Trenta, or it's something like that. I forget what it is, and it's like 33 ounces or whatever. It's way too big, and I never see anybody order it. I don't even know if they have it. They might not actually have it, and if you ordered it, they might freak out. And like I said, they'd have to go. Maybe they'd have to call Phil from the Subway store to go to the back and get one of the cups or whatever. But it's too much.
Yeah. Well, no respect for baristas. I can tell you that right now. When it comes to art, I don't care. Harry, here's the thing about art. I don't care about art.
I love the beginning of this. Carry on. Okay, here's the thing about art.
Here's the thing about art. I don't care about art. Like, I would never seek out art to put on my wall. You know what I mean? I would never look for a fucking sculpture or especially a painting. Like, I'd never look for that.
Worst. Paintings are terrible.
Paintings are so bad.
I would much prefer a sculpture. If I could get a sculpture, I would definitely have that. But yeah, paintings are awful. Come on.
Like I'm not going to seek out paintings to put on the wall or anything like that. And it's
what about illustrations? Where do you land with illustrations? Because I have a couple.
That's where I'm going with this. Yeah. It's like a few weeks ago, I told you, I don't really I have no respect for people who can dance. I like dancing. I have no respect for dancing. Like, if you're a great dancer, I'm just thoroughly unimpressed with that skill. I don't know what it is about it. I recognize it's a skill, but I have no respect for it. I'm like, I don't care that you can dance well. You will never serve me. I am unservable. I don't care. I'm not impressed. In fact, in some cases, I have a little less respect for you if you're a great dancer. Okay? So that's one thing. At least with the art, though, I recognize it's like, oh, wow, being able to draw, that's a skill. Like, I'm impressed by the skill of art when it's good. Not this fucking out there bullshit, though, where you're supposed to. That's a different story. But I'm impressed with the skill of art, but I don't care about art, and I don't want to own art. No interest whatsoever in seeking out a nice art piece to stick on my wall. Like, there's no chance. I'd rather put up, like, you know, a nice framed photo of, like, Stafford the Cup to beat the Bucks in the NFC divisional round a few years ago. Like, I'd rather have that on my wall than, like, some dopey piece of art.
Now, if that was
Especially
done,
if it's
but if that was done in an illustration, would you put it up? If it was if it was that exact thing in an illustration, would you'd put the Because I'm pro illustration.
Yeah, if it looked good. Not if it was like impressionist or if it was like what's the word I'm looking for? Like
I guess impressionist is the word you're looking for. Maybe
not if it was trying too hard.
Right,
if it was like surrealism or surrealist art or something.
Yeah, no Picasso.
You can go
here.
Fuck yourself with that. Like I would never put that on my wall. I'd be like, that doesn't look like Matthew Stafford. It looks like a blob. It doesn't. Yeah, but you have to. No, fuck you. It doesn't look like him. I'm not interested. You know. So yeah, art. At least I understand. Like I have more respect for the skill involved. Dancing, I just don't understand at all. We'll never have any respect for dancing. None.
Joe, are you still there?
I'm still here.
We're still there. Okay, we're good.
Are you still there?
I am still there. We had a little bit of a disconnect there, but we're back. We're back. That was so. Maybe you thought I was just so taken aback by your hatred of abstract painting, but no, I think we had a little.
That's another. Abstract. That's a good. That nonsense.
Yeah.
Can't deal with
surrealism.
Yeah, all that shit.
It's not about how Matthew Stafford looks. It's about how it feels, Joe. You're like, fuck off. Just give me the picture. Give me the picture.
Yeah.
Take a good picture. Frame it. Put it on the wall.
I remember when I was little, my mother would be like, "Use your imagination." I'm like, "No, that stinks. I don't want to use my imagination." I never been big on imagination.
Well, you're a guy who you've said this from the moment I've spoken with you. The moment I met you is. You love life. Why do you need imagination? You like what's happening in front of you right now.
I like what's going on right around me. You know, I don't need an imagination. I like living in the now. You know, what's real. I'm a realist, Rich Craich.
You're definitely a realist.
Many people say Joe Lanza keeps it real. That's
what they're
something
saying.
That
they are saying.
Many people say that historically. It's true.
I'm taking down as we do drink talk, and then we'll get into professional wrestling talk in a bit. I got some Werner's Boston Cooler. Have you ever had Werner's ginger ale? I don't know if it's available by you guys, but big fan
Never heard of
Werner's. Oh yeah, Werner's. Yeah, it's a lot of times I have to go to Michigan to get it. Not available a lot in Illinois. This is a kind of a cream soda ginger ale mix going on here, and I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this. Some Werner's Boston Cooler. I had to go to Michigan to get it, but well worth it.
Cream soda and ginger ale. Mm-hmm. I think that could work.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it works. Very, a lot of sugar, though. It's sweet. It's a little too sweet. I don't know if I'm finishing this whole thing, but figured for the flagship, I could open this thing up. Walter says, Joe, what do you feel about Andy Warhol? I can't imagine you're a big Warhol guy.
I couldn't tell you one. He did the Campbell soup can.
The soup, yeah, the soup, the one that everybody goes. And I could do. You're like, it's soup. I don't care. It's the fucking soup.
Let me pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see some examples.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an accurate representation of a soup can. I will say that. I'm more impressed with that than like if you told someone to draw a can of soup and they just splash some fucking paint on the canvas and. Like you're saying, it's how the soup feels, not how the soup
right,
like.
Right. It's about how you feel looking at that soup. You're like, fuck off, just give me the soup. Yeah,
yeah. Like I think he's got this the Marilyn Monroe gimmick, right? With
with the different colors and stuff. Yeah,
now it looks like her.
Oh, we found out.
It looks like her.
Hold on a minute.
That's not bad.
Hold on a minute.
Not bad. Now he was a fucking wackadoodle, right? This guy, like, completely out of his mind.
Oh yeah. I think.
Most of them are.
I think most are.
Why is it that people who are good at art are always out of their fucking skulls?
Well,
what is it with that?
I think goes hand in hand. I think.
Well, I'm asking why. I know it goes.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's a larger discussion than I think we can do here on the flagship.
Like, why don't you have the ability to like draw good and also just be normal? What gets in the way? What gets in between?
What's normal? Let's get real philosophical, Joe. What's normal?
Well,
define normal.
I don't know. I'm going to get myself in trouble if I start answering these questions.
We're not normal. We're the furthest thing from normal. I can't address why someone's not normal. I talk to you for 3 hours every week, 3 to 4 hours every single week, plus bonus hours, and we talk about fucking wrestling. We talk about CMLL and MJF and Verno and fucking.
I got to be honest. I think I'm pretty normal.
I don't know if you're that normal. No,
I don't think I'm a normal, everyday, average guy.
I think you're normal on like the larger scale of humanity, but I don't think you're. Yeah. I don't think you'd be defined as a normal human to most people.
Really?
I don't think so. Well, if you told them everything
abnormal.
about you, if you told them everything about you, if you were just like a guy on the street, you look like a pretty normal guy, right?
Yeah, but everybody has quirks. Unless that's your point, that no one's normal.
That's my point. Normal. I would hate to meet a normal person. That would suck. I don't want to meet a normal person.
But if everyone has quirks, then it's normal to have quirks, and that thus you're normal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You see, you can really come full circle.
This is real deep. Fuck wrestling. Let's really get into the human psyche tonight. I think if you watch wrestling,
you think I'm the only guy that doesn't like to be out in the hot sun?
No, that's not the thing that I would say your obsessive determination to watch every Cincinnati Reds game, your obsessive ability to recite Sopranos quotes, and the fact that you watch and podcast about professional wrestling would probably put you in a category that some people would say that man is not normal.
Hardcore sports fan? That's abnormal.
I think you have you must watch every game of the Reds season.
I mean, okay.
Like if you missed a week, what would you do? If you missed 3 games, what would you do? You would lose your fucking mind.
I understand the point you're making, but it would not ruin my world would not collapse around me if I missed 2 games in a row. Now, would I be tracking them on my phone or something or knowing what's going on? Yeah. But if I have a family event or something, I'll miss a game and I'm not like losing my mind.
Would you miss a week?
It.
Would you miss a whole week?
That's asking a lot. A week? You want me to go a full week?
Let's go 4 to 5 games.
I couldn't tell you the last time I missed 4 games in a row.
This is what I'm saying. I don't think that's normal.
Well, that's a lot of games, though. I couldn't tell you the last time I missed 3 in a row. Have I missed 2 in a row? Well, this year I've watched every game.
You've been pretty good this year, I think. Yeah.
There's some years I watch all 162. There has been a year or 2 where I have visually seen every single pitch. That's not normal. We can agree that isn't normal behavior.
Right.
I haven't missed a snap of Rams football since week 17, 1999. Is that abnormal? Or is
it's abnormal to know the exact snap and the exact week that you yeah. But again, I'm not making a judgment. I think it's good that you're not normal. I think I would again. I don't want to meet a normal person. Normal person sounds really boring. I'm just pointing out that these things that you're describing, to a boring person might seem abnormal.
There's probably fewer of me when it comes to baseball because it's 162 games. I think there's a lot of me with football.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah. No, I mean,
I don't think that's
no. Everybody,
that one's not. I don't even think that one's abnormal.
No, most people I know. I mean, if there's a Bears game on, they are not doing anything. They cannot be taken away, and you can't. Nothing. If there's a funeral. Right. They're upset about it. They're watching it on their phones. Like I've been at a funeral and seen people watching the game on their phones. And I'm like, good Lord, it's the Bears. For God's sakes, they're 6 and 8. It's okay. Just let it go.
Now, now will they walk away from the TV 44-7?
No,
maybe.
No, every snap.
Yeah, that's me. I'm in. I'm just gonna watch every snap.
Second the game's over, they're talking about it. They're going to work. They're yeah. It's and they do it all over again every single week, over and over and over again.
Football, I think it's more normal to do that. Baseball, I will admit, it's probably more abnormal.
That's tough. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever. I mean, the most. I mean, in my peak White Sox fandom days, I mean, I was probably watching 100 or so games, but 162 is tough, man. You know what I mean? Like that, especially. A lot of night games, a lot of day games. Like and they're long games. It's football. It's like it's gonna mostly be on Sundays. You know what I mean? It's pretty easy. Like they've made it more difficult now with obviously these other games. But in the old days, like before we got all stupid about having these games on every single days, you knew Sunday morning or night. You know what I mean? More times than not, you knew it was going to be Sunday afternoon or Sunday early afternoon or whatever. On a rare occasion, it'd be a Sunday night. On an even rarer occasion, it would be a Monday night. That's not that hard to do. Baseball, you got to be like, you know what I mean? You can't.
And you also have to have absolutely nothing else to do, which hand raised. So, that helps. But no, if you're a homebody, it helps. All jokes aside, like I don't, it's okay. I admit the baseball that's 162, even over 150, which I couldn't tell you the last time I watched less than 155. And then the others, you're following. If you have something to do, you're following it on the phone, or you have it on the phone. We have modern technology. Why should you ever miss a game? Why should you miss one? You have modern technology. You can watch it from anywhere. Now, week 17, 1999, that one's easy to remember because somebody was in the hospital, had to punt it. So I had to punt it and go visit the person in the hospital.
I was at a wedding once where a guy was he was sitting in the back row or whatever, and he had this is in like 1990, late 90s or whatever. So obviously, do not have the technology we have today to pull out your phone and punch up the game or whatever. I think it was a White Sox game. This is a White Sox game, I believe. And I saw him, and I'm like, he's not going to do this, is he? And he got out a little radio. Like a little tiny radio and headphones, and ran it up his suit, put it in the little corner.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, hey, you know what? You got the game's on.
That's a different level of locked in. That's a different level of
brother, you can let it go. It's the White Sox. You know what I mean?
If I were at a wake or a funeral while a Reds game was on, I wouldn't be that level of locked in. Now, would I sneak off to the bathroom and check the score? Yeah.
Would you go to the snack room and hope there's a TV there? And if the TV is there, maybe,
I mean, yeah.
Dial it up. There's always those snack rooms. There's always a decent spread.
Okay, well, here's the thing. First of all, who's dead? That's important.
Yeah, important distinction.
That's an important. Okay,
friend of a friend that you're just kind of being nice for.
Friend of a friend, not like an uncle. I'm gonna check the score. Like immediate family, I don't think I'm going to care about the Reds game in that moment in time. Is that fair?
That's fair.
But
when you piss, you're going to go check the score for sure.
I just thought of it. I did miss one Reds game this year.
Uh-oh.
I did.
Oh, you were in the plane probably going to Cincinnati, right?
No, I scheduled all that when there were no games.
Of course.
So
this is not normal. This is what I'm saying. But carry on.
I made sure we took the red eye in so we'd make it to the game that afternoon. And then after and then it was the All-Star break. We came home during the All-Star break, so I didn't have to miss anything. I planned that. I mean, I'm not going to be on the plane all the time.
Masterful job, yeah.
Oh, it's a master stroke of genius by Chef Lanza. But I did miss a game this year. I just thought of it. We took the kids to the Jurassic Park gimmick during a Reds game on a Sunday. How about that?
Wow. And you that's pretty big for you. I will say.
Yeah,
that had to take some little guts for you.
That was our chance to go. The kids wanted to go. We took them. So I got up every 15 minutes to go to the bathroom and check the score. But I was there.
I'm sorry. I've had this cherry Coke. I've been blowing through this cherry Coke, and I got to pee. I'm sorry because you do not care about the Jurassic Park gimmick at all, right? We've established that. It was either last week or the week before. You do not care at all.
It was the first Jurassic Park movie in the franchise I ever saw.
Yeah. What'd you think by that review?
I mean, I don't know. It was dopey dinosaurs. What do you want me to say? It's a kid's movie. I don't know what to say. It was fine.
I haven't heard many good things about this new one, so I don't
know why I'm softening this. I actually thought it sucked. I have no use for it, and it didn't make me want to watch the other ones. How is the 5-year-old girl escaping the grip of this fucking...
Hey, spoilers! For God's sakes, Joe.
I wanted that girl to get eaten so badly, and she just kept escaping somehow. She come floating back down on her little inner tube after they thought she got eaten. I'm like, give me a fucking break. This 5-year-old would be dead before any of these people. Again, listen, they say Joe Lanza keeps it real. I'm a realist, Rich Craich. It annoyed me that little girl survived. Couldn't take it. Yeah, so I don't know. There's some abnormal things about everyone, I think. I don't think that necessarily makes you not normal. I think that's where I stand on this.
Okay, that's fair.
I think if you put it on a spectrum, I would fall on the normal side of the spectrum. Listen, I pay my taxes begrudgingly.
Yeah, fortunately, yeah.
I'm a guy with a house and a mortgage, 2 cars, fucking Mazda and a Hyundai. How much normal can you get to that? It's pretty fucking
normal, yeah. You're a white dude with a Mazda and a Honda. Yeah, you're pretty fucking normal, yeah.
2 kids, a boy and a girl.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll put it that way. Yeah, a mortgage, a Mazda, a Honda, and you're a middle-aged white guy with 2 kids and a boy and a girl. Yeah, it's pretty on the spectrum. You're pretty normal. Yeah.
One gets good grades, the other one doesn't. Like, it can't get more normal.
One's a dope.
Than that,
one's smart. One's a dope. Yeah.
So. I don't know. It's I like porno and football and books about war. Let's see who gets that one.
Oh God! All right, do we have to talk about wrestling?
I guess so.
Yeah,
is this the all banter show? It's not a bad week for
It's
one.
not the worst week. It's not the worst week for it.
You can't announce it like that, though.
No,
it just
it's
has
got to
to naturally
you
happen.
got to feel it. Yeah.
People got to look. It's got to be 2 hours and 15 minutes in, and we're talking about getting oil changed or something, and then they're like, "Holy shit, this is the one."
This is it. They're 2 hours and 20 minutes in. They're not going to do it. They're not going to talk.
I love the newbies, Rich. The newbie YouTube viewers who timestamp each other when we stop.
I know. It's been a growing trend, which is good that we're getting new people listening. But a lot of them are like, "You guys need timestamps. I want to hear the wrestling talk."
They don't even ask it. Now they're just like they do it for each other.
They do it on their
like,
own. Yeah.
FYI, wrestling talk at 22:51, and it's
there was a while where I wasn't approving those comments, but I finally did approve one of them. And
go ahead, approve
it. Had so many likes, and I was like, "Oh no!" It was like 37 likes. So like, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. It's like, oh no, my art. See, because we're artists. I consider what we do art.
Well, see, I'm a true artist.
Yes.
I'm like Picasso. You don't even know what the fuck he painted. You don't know what it is.
Well, here's how we're true artists. Was any of this discussed? Were we going to talk about Jurassic Park or being normal or Werner's Boston Cooler or making it dirty at Sonic? No, none of that was on the run sheet. I didn't talk. I got on here and said, "Sorry, I'm late. You ready to go?" You said, "Yeah," and we went. And this is it. And we went on. And this is what we're doing.
Look at these Picasso gimmicks. One eye up here, one eye down there,
insane.
one titty up here, one titty down there. Like, that doesn't look like a person. It's ridiculous. Who would want that hanging? What I'm looking at is probably worth millions of dollars. I don't want that in my den. It's going to ruin my whole decor. All my Sopranos posters in order. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. I'm going to stick a Picasso in there and screw it all up?
Yeah, it's going to be tough to explain to anybody. Should you get any visitors to the den?
This lady with the lopsided titties and one eye above the other? Who would want to stare at that all day?
That's insane.
I don't want to stare at that. This guy with his Freddy Krueger striped shirt that he's always rocking, this Picasso.
Yeah, sometimes I go to we have the Art Institute here in Chicago, and it's a world famous art museum or whatever, and it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You walk around, you're just like, I don't know. I don't get. But then I went to Italy, and I went to a bunch of different art museums in Italy, and now what I'll say about that, sculptures everywhere. Now, sculpture, I am always impressed by sculptures. Sculptures will work for me. Yeah. I'm like, you're not a sculpture guy, really.
It's impressive. I mean, look, like those motherfuckers who take a chainsaw and a block of ice and they make like a lion.
Yeah.
That's incredible to me.
Right.
That's truly an incredible skill. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, the sculptures still like they take a block of granite and I don't know, turn it into a fucking angel or some guy with a small dick. That's pretty impressive what they do. They
chiseled abs and a very small dick and say,
very
like, wow,
tiny penis.
Incredible.
Very tiny penis. Lots of pubes and almost no penis is always what it is.
They needed the Manscaped gimmick. Insert Manscaped ad here. I'll pitch them on it and see if we can get it inserted into post production there. That would have been perfect.
But the guy's always ripped. Like,
shredded. Yeah. That got me a lot when I was like, God, these abs, like incredible work on these abs. Like these are perfect abs. You know, I'm walking through it. I'm like, man, this guy, he nailed it. He got the exact, exactly how abs are supposed to look. I appreciate this.
Looking like prime Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
All these sculptures.
But a very small dick always. Or a leaf, or the leaf over the gimmick too.
Yeah, a little fig leaf. Fig leaf over, which implies, again, tiny penis.
Yeah, fig leaf's not very big, so yeah, not much to cover there.
Well, wasn't it like a giant hog back then was considered undignified, and you couldn't be in the upper crust if you had a big dick.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
They considered it like animalistic or undignified to have a big dick. So, unfortunately, I would have been forced into pauper status back in those times. There'd be no sculptures of me.
You'd be the one sculpting, maybe. No, even then, no. You'd be working the fields. You'd be working the
that.
field. They'd be, hey, giant dick dude, get out there in the fields.
I have no artistic ability. I mean, make no mistake about it. Like, I'm going to bury artists. I have to be fair. I can't draw anything. I mean, I could barely get through a stick figure. I mean, it's no musical ability, no art ability, no dancing. I can't do any of that shit. come to think of it, what can I do?
I think you podcast.
Do I have any talents? Well, I can definitely podcast.
Yeah. Other than that, what talents do you have?
I can talk and I can
you're
do
a good cook, right? You're a good cook.
Oh, that's true. I'm a tremendous cook. That's true.
I think you're a good. Are you a good? Would you consider cleaning a skill? Because I think you're a good.
I don't think cleaning's a skill.
Okay.
I think cleaning is just a want to do, and
I think there's some people that are bad at cleaning. I think some people think they're good at cleaning and they clean, and you're like, you're not doing a very good job.
That's interesting. I think if you're bad at cleaning, you just don't want to clean, so you're lazy at it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I think you just don't want to get in there. Like, you don't want to be doing. It's hard to articulate. I think that the reality is, it's just it's not a skill. It's just, it's how much effort you're willing to put into it. For example, if I told someone you need to clean that oven and it needs to look like it was just purchased and never cooked in, or I'm going to kill you. Then you're going to make sure it's clean, even if you're someone who is not good at cleaning. It's a pretty extreme analogy thing to use, but I mean, I think that's just effort.
As an effort or skill, I put a poll up in the chat room to see if what the people say is cleaning a skill. I tend to think it is a little bit of a skill.
Yeah, maybe my perspective is from managing restaurants for so long, and just the laziest motherfuckers that worked for you were the worst at cleaning.
Yeah. Well, my days of working in restaurants as well has helped me, because we'll be cooking and I'll be cleaning as I cook. And the nurse is not. She's just making more messes upon more messes upon more messes. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's clean. It's clean. And she's just shoving stuff into a corner. And I'm like, you're not actually cleaning anything. You're just shoving stuff into a corner and getting it out of the way so you can do. And I feel like there's a skill involved with it.
See, I think she just doesn't want to clean, and it's just easier to shove everything in the corner.
There's some of that too. It
really comes down to desire to clean. Some people don't have a desire to clean, and they don't consider certain things messy that other people consider messy. Like, I cannot deal with clutter. I don't keep anything. Everything goes in the garbage. I just don't like having things but some people will have a stack of shit in the corner and they don't even see it. They don't notice it because it doesn't bother them. It's not cumbersome to them. Me, I can't have an extra sheet of paper on my desk that doesn't belong there without immediately throwing it out because I feel like I'm being boxed in by the clutter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just think it's a want to and a desire to clean more than it's like me. It's like, okay, I am very famous in my relationships. I don't do rubs. I will not rub your back. I will not rub your feet. I don't do that shit. I will.
And do you let that is that known very early on in a relationship?
It's known very early on. I'm like, look, I don't rub. I don't do that stuff. I hate it. I can't stand it.
Will you pet hair? Will you pet hair, or do you consider that rub?
Oh God, why would I ever pet hair? All right,
okay,
so,
like if she laid her chest on or her head on your chest, you're not petting the hair.
I am a tremendous partner. I am supportive. I get along. I find I'm great in relationships. I've been in nothing but long relationships my whole life. I will not do rubs. Okay. So the few times I've been in there. So the few times I've been like, fine, I do a terrible job. Why? It's not because I don't have the skill.
You don't want to, yeah.
It's because I don't want to be doing it. And I think that's why some people are bad at cleaning, because they don't look. Cleaning's not fun. It's about as fun as giving someone a foot rub. You don't really want to be doing either of those things. Okay, but. So I think it's just you don't want to do it, and that's the block in terms of whether you're good at it or not. That's what I think. I think anyone could be good at cleaning. It doesn't take any talent to be able to sweep a floor. You know what I mean? It just takes the want to say, I don't want anything on this floor left behind because I live here and I take pride in this floor. It's the level of pride you take in that floor and how clean you want it to be. That's my stance.
There you go. The no dopes in the chat room. Yes, is cleaning a skill, winning 66 to 34%. They believe believe that cleaning is a skill.
Like Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems. I disagree. I don't think it's a skill.
Have you? Speaking of Adam Sandler, have you changed? You told me you have never seen the original Happy Gilmore. Is that still true, or did you?
I've never seen the original Happy Gilmore. Now, I have seen practically every other Adam Sandler movie. I did not skip the original Happy Gilmore on purpose. It was just one of those things that slipped through the cracks. I'm not against watching Happy Gilmore. I just never seen it.
Are you planning on watching Happy Gilmore 2 or no?
No.
Okay.
That one I could live without.
Yeah, it's fine. I was a big Happy Gilmore 1 fan, so I was like, I better just watch this thing. So I watch it. I think you might find one of the central storylines kind of funny, and the people involved in that central storyline kind of funny, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Here's
I don't
the thing.
think.
If I walk in the room and TLB's watching Happy Gilmore 2, will I sit on the couch and catch the last 75 minutes? Sure. Am I going to go to Netflix, seek it out, and slap play? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
But I'm not like, oh, God, no, we'll never, It's why I've never seen Happy Gilmore, the original Happy Gilmore, because I haven't seeked it out. I haven't even come across it, like channel flipping, which people say is crazy. Is that on TV a lot, Happy Gilmore?
I feel like
it's not.
I feel like growing up, it wasn't very often on TV. No, of the Adam Sandler movies, you did not see Happy Gilmore on there that often. Occasionally, it would pop up, but not as much. I had the VHS or whatever, so that's how I watched it most of the time in my life. But yeah, very rarely did I stumble upon it on TV and go, oh, great, Happy Gilmore's on, I'm going to watch it. Now, I've seen it. It's popped up a couple more times recently because I think now, because the new one coming out, a couple different networks are putting it up or whatever. But no, I don't think it's one that you would stumble on. Like TNT is not going to, you're not just going to be like flipping channels in. Like Shawshank Redemption was on every day on TNT for 15 years. You know what I mean? Like,
and you got to leave it on. You got to leave it on.
You get Shawshanked. Yeah, you're like, oh, fuck, yeah. How far are we in? All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
But, it was not on as often. Yeah, I think like Big Daddy was on a lot, and like Billy Madison, I think, was on a lot. But yeah, Happy Gilmore not as much, especially Comedy Central. I think a lot of Comedy Central was Billy Madison in that vibe more so than Happy Gilmore.
A lot of times they'll all come across certain movies, and unless it's on premium cable, I'm like, no, I don't want to watch it like this. I got to catch it on HBO. I don't want it.
The edits, yeah, and I think that's one of the huge issues with the original Happy Gilmore. Is I've seen the edited version and it's awful. It's just like there's so many parts of that movie that are completely lost, and so many bits that are completely lost, and so many things that are just completely not hit as much as possible. So yeah, I would never watch Happy Gilmore on network TV. I would hate that.
You know how like every 15 years there's like a Scarface revival because a new generation discovers it?
Oh, oh my God, Scarface on TV is the most
Scarface on TV.
What is that movie?
The best Scarface on TV line is there's one line where like he gets arrested, or maybe when he's enters the country or whatever, and one of the cops says to him, "How'd you get that scar on your face? Exactly. Eating pussy?" Right? It's like, "How'd you get that scar on your face? Eating pussy?" Right? And then in the edited version, the cop says, "How'd you get that scar on your face? Eating pineapple?" And you're like, I'm out. I can't watch the rest of this.
It.
How can I watch the rest of this?
My friends and I were watching it. It came up on TV, so we just turned it on and we're like, here we go. And then that line came, and we were like, no, we can't. Like, if that
pineapple.
Line, it was so funny, though. It was hilarious. And we're like, all right, we got to see if this is funny. So many lines in that movie are just completely butchered. And I don't even remember what they did with the chainsaw scene. They might have just went and then went to the next thing. It was just like, all right, something happened. Don't worry about it. Like, move on.
Yeah.
Eating pineapple. That's the best part. With the horrible voiceover, too. It's like, hey, how'd you get that scar? Eating pineapple. You're like, what is this? It sounds awful. Like,
what's funny is you're more likely to get a scar in your face from eating pineapple than eating pussy.
Correct.
Like, I don't understand. Yeah. But I think the whole point of the joke is that whole machismo thing of, men don't eat pussy. Right. Meanwhile, that cop is probably muff diving into that fucking wife of his.
No, he was some shit. No, dude, they were shitty 80s dudes. They weren't getting involved in that shit. Boring dude. That's a normal guy. A normal ass guy, he wouldn't be doing that. He would think that's gross and weird or whatever. Not I.
See, I don't know. I think every guy who says he doesn't do that is full of shit. No matter what age or fucking era he's from. All right. There might be a certain kind of guy.
I've known a couple
from
guys
the 1940s or 50s who were like, just to have the okay, maybe. But in modern times, I can't imagine. I mean, everyone eats ass and admits it. Who's not eating pussy? I mean, I don't buy it. I think you're full of shit and there's something wrong with you if you won't just admit that. Who cares? Like, what's the mental block there?
Especially in 2020. You can't be in 2025. Just it's all good, brother. It's all right.
Yeah, it's like that whole Sopranos subplot where they find out that Uncle Junior has been going down on his gumad, right? And then they're all like making jokes about it and everything. And then Tony's joking about it to Carmella, and she's like, well, you do it. And he's like, don't you ever tell anybody that. I'll fucking kill you, you know? It's like, it's so stupid, you know? It's just this whole, like, machismo thing. You know, it's, I guess, so I think that was the point of that joke more than, because I think you can get a scar on your face. You don't cut the pineapple properly.
Oh, yeah. You get scratched by a pineapple or whatever. Maybe you got the knife down there while you're eating it or whatever. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what you're doing?
Yeah. When are you going to dive into Sopranos so you can understand all these references?
One of these days. Yeah, one of these days. I don't know when. Yeah, I've watched the first episode a couple times, and I'm always just like, I don't know.
You got to power through that.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm an outlier.
Every first episode of every show kind of stinks.
First episode of every show.
You always do, but I know.
It's
some of my
like
favorite shows, I've hated the first episode, and I just powered through, and then they're incredible.
Not only that, you'll only hear this opinion from me, but who knows better than me when it comes to this topic? I usually skip the whole first season. A lot of people love the first season. They think the first season is the best. I think the first season is the weakest and worst season of the show. I think it's still finding itself in the first season. And I'm a back end of Sopranos guy. I like the later seasons better than the early seasons. And I will skip season 1 when I do my rewatches. My advice to you is first of all, you got to power through that first episode. The tone is completely different. It's just not the same show. But then you just got to power through season 1. And then season 2 is where it really becomes the show that it ends up, evolving into. So, but yeah, season 1's weird. They filmed episode 1 like a year and a half before.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the first episode of every show, or the first couple episodes of every show, is mostly you're looking at pilots or stuff that's filmed at a different time or whatever. So yeah, some characters get moved in and out or whatever. You watch the 4 episodes later in season 2, that character's just gone or removed or whatever. Yeah, it's always tough. So yeah, skip I don't think I could skip the first season if I ever went and did rewatch. I probably have to watch it all, but that's bold. It's a bold idea.
Well, the other thing that bothers me in season 1 of Sopranos is like Vesuvio the pork store is like a different, like they changed the set a lot too. And it bothers me. Like when I go back and watch the old ones, it's like, that's not the fucking pork store. Like it drives me nuts. And even the name, it's not Satriel's in the early episodes. It has a different name and everything. It's just, I can't do it. But it's not like season 1's bad. It's just, it's easy to skip for me. And other Sopranos fans think I'm insane for that, but I guess I'm not normal. How's that for a nice, neat bow on things?
Guess Joe's not normal. Yeah, I would say skipping season 1 of Sopranos is probably not normal, but watching it as many times, I would say especially watching it as many times as you have. What's your official count on the amount of times?
I stopped counting. I've probably watched it. Well, I mean, if you count season 1.
Let's not count season 1. Let's count like you whatever. Any amount of seasons you would consider a rewatch.
I mean, I've watched it all the way through at least 8 or 9 times from start to finish. Yeah. And more than that if you're counting skipping season 1.
And because how many seasons are we looking at here? What's this?
Officially 6, but season 6 was split into 2, so it's like functionally 7.
Okay, that's not bad. I thought there was like 10 or 11 or whatever. That's not bad.
No, because remember, he used to take like 2 years off in between and piss everybody off. So the show lasted longer than the number of seasons that are in the show. But a lot of that quote unquote rewatch is just having it on. You know what I mean? Like having it on while
it's just comfort. It's like comfort.
Background. Yeah,
comfort watch.
It's definitely comfort. This is going to sound silly, but that show was very comforting to me when I first moved to Texas.
I can imagine.
Because it was a bit of a culture shock at first, and I'd watch Sopranos, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm with my people. There'll be a scene where they're listening, where like Mike and the Mad Dog's on in the background, and they're reading the Star Ledger, and I'm like, oh, okay. It would like bring home, me like, yeah, it's like, because if you're from New Jersey, there's even another level of enjoyment to it because of how accurate everything is. They don't use fake newspapers. They don't use fake radio stations. They don't, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like you are not going to notice any of that. You know what I mean? But if you're from New Jersey, not only can you appreciate the show itself, but you can appreciate the accuracy. David Chase always says, New Jersey is a character on the show. New Jersey is basically another character on the show. So I used to use it to like, I don't know, just feel at home when I was feeling lonely in Texas. Like that's how I'd use the show. This is probably the longest I've ever gone without watching it without doing a watch through. I haven't done a watch through since I made Brittany watch it.
Yeah.
And that was a couple years ago. And now she wants to watch it again because she feels like she missed a lot the first time. So I'll probably do another watch through soon. But you got to I only want you to watch it because every 15 minutes I want you to go, Joe has said that line
Yes.
1,000 times. Now that makes sense.
I know the lines. And I know the references. I know that it's a Sopranos line. I just never know what the actual reference is or whatever. The worst was in you and fucking Tony Khan would be in the DMs, just back and forth. And I'm like, what is happening here? I couldn't jump in, even if I had a question for him. I was like, all right, let's let these guys roll. Let them cook. Let them cook, as the kids say. I was just watching these lines go back and forth. I'm like, what is happening here?
Just spitting Sopranos lines at each other. But it's somehow making sense in the conversation that we're having.
Yeah, and I was just like, all right, well, whatever. I have a genuine question to ask him, but I'll just let this run its course, and then eventually I'll jump in. Then usually you would end, and I would ask my question, then he would just ghost, and then it would be over. So,
yeah. Someone's asking if I skipped season 1 with TLB. No. Couldn't do that. I had her watch the whole fucking show. I can't have her skip season 1. So, yeah, you can't tell. Like, I'm not going to tell Rich, hey, go watch. Just skip the whole first season.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that.
You could skip season 1 after you've seen it already, so you don't need all that information anymore. That's when you can start skipping with any show. If there's a season you don't like, you can start skipping seasons only after you've seen the show once, though, because you need that information if you're watching, the first time.
Right. If it's the second or third time if you watch a show, you know everything that's going to happen in season 1. And if you find season 1 not that appealing, just jump to season 2. You're fine. You know the stories. You know the beats.
That's right. Yeah, and exactly. And if it's Dexter, it's easy because you could just stop watching it season 4 after the Trinity Killer.
Oh, dude, they're still going, man. Do you know that? Like
they rebooted it again with not
this
reboot,
is the third time. This is the third time they rebooted it. I know all this because a certain thing in my shoot job came up where we were on. Somebody said, "Hey, your stuff's on Dexter," and I was like, "Oh God, that's not good." I was like, "That's going to be a bad." I thought someone's going to get maybe a little Chris Benoit, possibility on the show, and I was like, "Oh, that's not great. I don't love that." And no, it's fine. He was just like resurrected, and he was like working out to get his strength back on on equipment, and I was like, "Oh, okay." That's because when you hear your stuff's on Dexter, I'm thinking, "Oh God, here we go." It's like our logo in the background is a guy being just mauled or destroyed or hanging himself or whatever. But no, it was not the case. So it was pretty good. So.
I can't believe they brought him back to life.
Yeah, like literally just
utterly ridiculous.
He's just fucking back, yeah.
Like,
and I had to watch this whole first episode, and my boss is raving about, "Oh, Dexter's back, and it's so good." And I'm watching it. It looked awful. Now, I've seen a little bit of Dexter here and there. I did not watch the second Resurrection or whatever, especially not going to watch. I was like, what is this? Like, he was literally like, I thought I was dead, but I'm not. And I'm like, oh, God, really? And he's doing dream sequences, so it's like, oh, is he dead or is he not? And it's like, it is stupid.
Begging them to come up with a new idea. Just make a different fucking show. I'm begging. I mean, I did watch the first revival, and I hate watched it, just like I hate watched the last 4 seasons of the first run of the show, because it's like now I feel like, and I'm going to have to watch this second revival and hate watch that. I have to do it because I feel like I have to. Once I get past a couple episodes of something and I decide I'm committed, I have to keep going. That's how my brain works. A lot of people can just hand wave at any time. I have to hand wave early. I'll usually give a show 3 episodes. If you haven't hooked me, or if I get the sense I'm not going to like it, that's when I'm out. Because if I go any further than that, my brain forces me to keep going. And if that show goes 12 seasons...
you got the sunk cost theory. But what you need to... and people do that all the time. You just need to realize you're not getting that time back, and it's over.
Right. And I'm fucked. Like, I'm in that paradox right now with Severance.
I am I cut it. I said I'm done, and I canceled Apple Plus, and I'm good. I'm not going back to it.
I want to quit it.
I was 3 episodes to go, and I'm like, this is dumb, and I'm not enjoying this anymore. I'm out.
This show fucking stinks. But I'm so deep into season. I have to keep. I just watched the episode where there's like the lambs and the goats.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, fuck this.
I lasted 2 more episodes after that, and then was just like, we're done here. We're done. Yeah.
So I haven't gone back yet. But
great. The first couple episodes are fucking phenomenal.
They're so
good. And I watched them multiple times because I had a long flight one time and it was on, and I was like, I've never watched Severance, but it sounded good. So I watched the first 4 episodes on a flight, and it was the worst thing ever because I still had like 5 more hours of the flight, and I couldn't wait to get home to watch it. So I went home and I watched a couple of different episodes or whatever, and then I kind of fell off again, and we went on another flight not that long ago, and it was a long flight, and they were available again. And I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna watch the first 4 episodes of Severance again. This is awesome. And then finally, this like a couple of months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it all. I'm gonna catch up. Like the 3rd season's out now, because I always have that other weird thing too. I don't like watching a show and then being like, all right, awesome. And it's like season 3 coming next November, and I'm like, fuck, all right. So yeah, I went through and I rewatched all the episodes that I watched again. So I watched the first 4 episodes for the 3rd time, went all the way through, and yeah, I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. I'm out.
Yeah, but now I got to keep going. So if this thing goes, and I hate the show. I hate it now. I liked it. I really liked it about 75% of the way through season 1. At the end of season 1, it started to lose me. And season 2,
I love the world building. I was all into the world building, and then the world's been built, and now I hate it. Now I'm out. It's stupid.
It's a great concept and idea, but now it's just completely delved into like Twin Peaks territory, and I can't fucking do it. It's a horrible show, but I'm gonna have to do it. See, my wife has this weird thing. I don't know how she does this. She quits shows like a few episodes before the finales. I don't know how she does it. She's like, she could see the finish line, and she's like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, that is psychopathic. You got to finish. How do you not finish? She's got like 4 or 5 shows that I've watched with her where she's like, nah, not tonight. And then I'm like, look, I can't wait any longer. I got to
do this. Yeah, it's either now or never.
And then I'll watch, and then she'll never go back to finish. I'm like, how did you watch 5.5 seasons of this show and not watch the last 4 episodes? How is that not driving you mad? And she just shrugs her shoulders. She's like, I don't know. I'm good. I got what I wanted out of it.
I think that's a normal human being.
I find that extremely abnormal.
No, I think that's normal. I think that's somebody who values her time and is just like, I don't care. I'm good. The sunk cost. I'm not getting that time back, so there's no point in continuing to put time into it. I'm good.
She did that with Boardwalk Empire. There's like 6 episodes left or something. I'm like, well, do you not like the show? She's like, oh no, it's really good. I love the show. I'm like, then why are you not finishing? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, don't you need to know what happens to Nucky Thompson? What is it? What is in your brain?
I would say she's actually on the right because most shows don't know how to end, and most shows end poorly, I think.
She did it with Mad Men too. She has no idea how Mad Men.
She should probably watch that. But
you know, and I love Mad Men. Don't get me wrong.
She loves the world building and doesn't want to see it. Yeah, you know what? Maybe she's someone that maybe her imagination takes over for the rest of it. Like, you know what? I'm in my mind's eye. This is what happens, and that's fine.
Well, the other thing about Mad Men is she was horny for like every character on the show.
Oh yeah, well hey.
But then that's a very good show to be horny to.
Oh, for everybody, male, female, yeah. No matter where you are, everybody's attractive. You're
except for Peggy.
Well, yeah, but she was meant to not be. Yeah, the whole gimmick is yeah.
Peggy's an absolute dog, but everyone else, I get it. So I think what happened was that one season where it takes like the 8-year time jump. And all of a sudden, we're in the 70s, and the hair and the fashion goes downhill.
Uh-huh.
Like no one's attractive anymore. Like that look even makes like those characters unattractive. And I think that's why she hand waved and didn't finish because that's a really ugly decade.
Yeah, she wants the 50s look or 60s look. That's what I meant. Yeah,
very ugly decade. The 70s. You know, guys with the mutton chops and the bad hair and the awful fashion and everything. And I think. That's that peak 60s fashion on hot, rich people just works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more
good
attractive.
Suits, the ladies wearing the nice dresses, nice tight dresses. Yeah, it all.
Yeah. It's really good. And then everyone gets more unattractive as the show moves along.
Hair all put in the right place. She likes a good, shiny hair, just good, shiny, well-combed, well-manicured hair. Clean shaven. Yeah, it seems.
Yeah.
Fortunately, she's married to you. So
hey, listen. The hair's never a problem.
The hair's never a problem. The clean shave. The clean shave.
Listen,
yeah.
I keep the 2-day stubble. She likes
my
that
look.
though.
Yeah, that's my look too.
She likes the 2-day stubble. She likes me to grow enough stubble to where the grays are starting.
Oh,
she likes that.
Not a problem for me. Not a problem for me anymore. I can tell you that. Stubble is full on gray these days. So.
She'll know when I've shaved it down. She can't see the gray anymore because I need it to be a little longer to see the grays,
Yeah.
But she's very horny for that. Now, the problem is I'm starting to get the Paulie walnuts gray, like in the sides of my head, like what Paulie walnuts have.
Yeah. It's a good look. I like it.
I'm like, I'm into it. I can't wait. I'm gonna go get pinky rings and get a Cadillac Eldorado, and I'm just gonna go full on with the gimmick, But she's disgusted by that.
Oh,
like,
really?
No,
I thought she'd like the salt and pepper. No,
not the wings. No salt and pepper, but I'm talking about
not
Google,
on the sides. Not
Google
on the sides.
Google Paulie
Oh, I know
walnuts.
what Paulie walnuts is like. Yeah,
she doesn't want like the wings. She's like that. You can't. I won't go in public with you.
All right.
She's like if so.
Oh, like the aggressive Paulie walnut. Yeah, okay. That's a little too aggressive. I would say.
Yeah. See what I'm talking about?
She wants the salt and pepper. Yeah, she wants the touch of gray, the just for men touch of gray. Where
she wants George Clooney.
Yes.
Paulie walnuts.
That's fair. I think that's fair for her.
Nobody wants to fuck Paulie Gualtieri. I mean, the man was never married for a reason. But so we're gonna power through. We're about 1/3 through. We're gonna power through.
Yeah.
1/3 of the way.
We're not far. We could. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna keep bantering. You're gonna have to cut in with wrestling if you want to.
But I have to do it if I have to do it, I have to do it. Yeah,
that's my talent. I can listen. I could do another hour on this Sonic drink if you need me to.
Making it dirty.
I could do it too.
And eventually the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity would come up.
That'll come up, of course.
Yeah.
Has to come up.
Classic bit.
Yeah. You just point, though, if you're physically have a menu. I want that. You just point.
Yeah.
You make them say it.
That's what I do at breweries now, because every brewery, they're all like, say the weird name. And I'm like, just give me this one. Or I'll say like what type of beer it is.
German thing you can't pronounce or something.
Right.
So, fucking kangaroo riding a unicycle. Give me the kangaroo riding a unicycle. That's the one I want.
They've gotten. I mean, you don't know what the brewery. I mean, it's the names are just fucking absurd now. It's so stupid. Well, every restaurant does that too. It's awful. Like you get a pizza from a place, and it's like I got to call it the.
Oh yeah.
Like, because every pizza has hot honey on it now. Every fucking pizza has to have the hot honey. So they have to have some kitschy name like.
Yeah. Like honey, like a playoff of something too.
Yeah, like honey, I shrunk the pizza. Nah, just kidding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fucking Christ, just give me. What do I have to say? What do you want me to say to get this pizza? Because I want the pepperoni. It sounds good, and the hot honey's fine. I don't care. I would prefer it not to be on there, but every place has hot honey. So whatever, that's fine. Just give me this one. Do I have to say honey, I shrunk the pizza? Haha, no, I didn't. Like, no, just give me the pizza.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Hot honey is real hot right now. It's funny how things come in and out. Remember when sriracha was the hot? Sriracha was everywhere, and you know that whatever the hot food item is about to. Its time has come to an end when they start doing potato chip flavors of whatever the thing is. That's when we're about to jump the shark and move on to the next thing. You start getting sriracha potato chip flavors. All right, hot honey's coming.
Once Lay's has decided they've done enough focus testing, they've tested it, it's gone to different markets or whatever, because they're always like 4 years too late, because they're trying to get they started the idea when sriracha was hot, but because it's the Frito-Lay Corporation, they have to go through all these, they had discussions in boardrooms, and they had to test out a bunch of different flavors. Then they had to focus group it. Then they had to, bring it out to a test market. So it was in Poughkeepsie for 3 months so they could see if the people of Poughkeepsie liked it or whatever. Then they have the design of the bag. So then finally it comes out. But at that point, it's over. At that point, it's like, well, no, we're not doing that anymore. So I feel like we haven't got hot honey chips just yet, but maybe we have.
Well, when we do, then something else is going to become the hot food trend.
Yeah.
In your in your local establishments. Who's the I saw Lay's had a potato chip for that soccer player. Who's that famous soccer player?
You're asking the
guy with the guy with the
person on Lionel Messi.
The guy with the goatee. Is that Messi?
Ronaldo. I don't know.
It's Messi.
Oh, Messi.
So
yes.
Lay's,
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, Lay's potato chips has a Messi flavor. Argentine. Is he from Argentina? It's called the Argentinian Argentinian style steak potato chips, and I had them in my cart last week, and then I said, "Wait a minute, what am I doing?"
I don't want these.
These are gonna suck, and I don't. But it was
Brazil steakhouse flavored.
No, he's from Argentina.
I see Argentina. And okay,
if you want to listen, you want to piss off listeners.
Whoops.
If you know nothing about Messi, that's gonna piss a lot of people off.
So Argentinian beef chips. Yeah, I mean, I'm down. I think I would try.
See,
those.
I picked it up. I did. I picked it up, and then
that sounds good.
I'm staring at my cart and I'm doing my cart math. Do you do cart math?
Of course.
My wife's amazed by my ability because I'll be within the fucking margin of error. I'll be within the margin. Like I'll forget to add tax to the toilet paper or something, and that's the only mistake I'll make. And I'll be like within $1.
Oh, and, well, I don't know how the TLB is, but the nurse is fucking on the complete opposite spectrum. I'm like, well, how much did you spend? I don't know, like $60 or whatever. And they ring it up. It's $190. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're nowhere close.
But that's what I mean. That's why I don't let her go because she will get. My wife will spend 3 times as much as me and will come back somehow with 1/3 of the food. It's an amazing ability that she has to do that. But I do cart math as I go. I don't see why it's so difficult, and then you have your budget in your head and And I'm sitting there doing my cart math and I'm like, do I really want these Argentinian style steak Lionel Messi potato chips? Is this a $3.99 that needs to be added to this cart? The answer is no. So that had to go. But yeah, those are out there. I thought the kid would pop for it. He's got a Lionel Messi jersey, the boy.
Okay.
And I'm like, you couldn't pick Lionel Messi out of a fucking lineup. You've never watched a soccer game in your life. Why do you have why'd you want this Lionel Messi jersey so badly? He must be seeing it on YouTube or something, right?
Yeah,
it's always YouTube's fault.
It's always the YouTube, yeah.
It's always got to be YouTube's fault for him to be aware of any of it. Because I can tell you what, there's no soccer on in this house. I wouldn't even tell you how to watch. What team does he play? Is he on like a team?
He's in the MLS. I think he plays for the Miami team. I don't know what they're
Lionel Messi is in the MLS.
He is indeed. Yeah, that's how you know he's probably on the.
So he sucks now.
Yeah, I think he sucks now. Is why he's trotting out Inter Miami CF. Inter Miami CF is what he.
He's 38 years old. He's probably the shits.
Yeah, it's probably terrible. Yeah. Let's see how many goals he has. He's got 18 goals this year in 18 games. I guess that's...
Yeah, but I don't have any perspective on that. Is that good? Is that bad?
18 appearances, 18 goals. I'd say every time you have an appearance, you score a goal. It's probably right? Pretty good, I would think, yeah.
I would guess that's probably good. All right. But he's, lesser competition. Is that how these guys use the MLS, just as lesser competition?
I think it's just the money. Because, Beckham did that too, remember? As things were winding down, he was like, I don't want to try that hard. I just want to go to the Galaxy, my man. David Beckham. And who was the other dude? There was another guy in the Galaxy, I remember. That's like the brief period where I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into soccer. And then I watched it for 2 games. And I'm like, actually, I don't like this at all. So
never mind. I remember that this sucks.
Right. Who was the guy? There was a guy on the Galaxy.
I know. It was Fred from Brazil. Right?
It wasn't Fred. I know Fred. Only because of you. It was not Fred.
Okay.
But Fred.
Was it Totti?
No, he was I forget this dude's name.
Was it Totti?
It wasn't Totti, no.
Was it Maradona, the hand of God or whatever?
It wasn't Maradona. I do know Maradona.
Okay.
I don't think did he play for the LA Galaxy? I don't think he did.
I think he died in 1987.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I don't think. So 30 about him, I think. Kobe Jones is who I was thinking of. Kobe Jones.
Kobe Jones.
With the dreads. With the dreadlocks.
He was a big American star, but I don't think he was... any good.
No. I thought he was good, but he wasn't. Because he was when the MLS launched and they're like, this is soccer, but it's American. And it was like, oh my God, here we go. And then in 1998, it was Kobe, he was on their, on the marquees and everything because he was very, marketable type of guy. But he probably wasn't.
Well, wasn't he the center forward on the 94 team that took America by storm because we hosted it that year or whatever, with Tony Meola and all those guys.
The World Cup? Yeah, I think he was.
That was
because I also watched it because that's when that was the 5th soccer revival, I believe, was the 94 World Cup.
Well, they'll keep trying. One of these times.
I think they're kind of there now. I think they're either there now or as they're going to be.
They're as they're going to be.
Yeah. But we're doing the World Cup next year, I think. So get ready for it all over again.
Here we go.
Actually, maybe the soccer is going to become the actual fourth sport in America. It's probably not.
Sure it will.
Yeah.
Sure it will.
I'd say that since 1972 and it hasn't happened yet, but.
Alexi Lalas. Remember Alexi Lalas?
I do remember Alexi Lalas. I remember him more from SportsCenter because he was the Barry Melrose of soccer for SportsCenter.
Yeah.
Where it'd be oh, God, all right, let's talk soccer. Bring him on there and be like, Alexi, what's going on with the Galaxy or whatever?
And then he shaved and it was whoa.
Yeah. He was a pretty handsome guy,
it's like the first time you see your dad without a mustache. You're like, whoa, this guy shaved. I don't like it one bit. You need to grow that disgusting beard back.
When he had the big, he
This
had the big ass chin, I think, too. Which, as a fellow ass chin man, I understood why he had the beard. But
yeah.
No, I remember. That's the only time I really remember him. I don't remember him playing, but he did look like. He had like long hair and a big goatee and a headband or whatever. It was quite a thing.
I think on that team he was like, I don't think he was a starter. I think he was on the team, and people only remember him because of his name and the dirty beard. Because I think by that point he wasn't a great player anymore. And the other thing is, everything I'm saying right now probably isn't true because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you don't know anything about soccer.
But that's what I remember anecdotally about Alexi Lalas. So I don't know. Maybe it was the 98 team when he was still hanging around where he was a backup. But I know he played defense. He was a defender.
He was a defender. Okay.
I do know that. So he's like 6'4". Like those tall guys usually play defense, right?
Yeah.
Or defender or whatever the position is called.
Sure.
Back left defender or whatever.
Never played the soccer. Never once in my life did I play soccer. I had a
never
lot of friends that
played
did, and I was like, I'm not that interested. So.
The only time I played soccer was in gym class when it would be 25 on 25 because they just send everybody. You ever play gym class soccer where everyone gets out there? So it's like 25 on 25 and everyone just following the ball. So you'd have 50 people just following the ball and nobody really, weren't really playing soccer. It was an excuse to like body check your friends basically during gym class. But that's the extent of my soccer experience.
I would say even most of my gym classes, we just played football or basketball. Very Americana at my. Nobody got the soccer ball out. No volleyball. None of that shit.
That's the one. I was just gonna say the gym class sport that I loved and I turned into gym class asshole was volleyball.
I was very good at volleyball, but never pursued it enough. I probably should have. I was actually really good at it, but
that's the only gym class sport where I would turn into like a dumb jock fucking asshole that everybody hated because I really wanted to win at the volleyball. The table tennis too. Did you have table tennis in gym class? We had table tennis. That was outstanding too.
I don't think we did. I wish we did. That would have been really good.
Yeah. The only problem is you'd have to set up and break down the tables, and that took a lot of time.
So you got like 10 minutes to
exactly.
Do it. Yeah.
That's a problem with gym class sports. By the time like you walked out to the field or you set up,
you change. You got to walk out to the field, and then you got 13 minutes to play flag football. It's like, what is this? This is ridiculous.
Then they're blowing the whistle and you got to go change again. Like gym class softball, which again would be like 25 outfielders, right? And like 7 infielders. And it's like impossible to get a hit. And you knew you're only going to bat once because there was like 26 people on each team. And they, because you're playing for 13 minutes. I played when I first moved out here, I joined the softball league, and I didn't know this until the league started, but they were timed games. You didn't even play a set amount of innings. Did you ever play in a softball league with timed games?
Never. Fuck that.
Yeah, the games were 40 minutes.
No, that's not enough time for a softball game.
There'd be a big clock on the scoreboard. There were some games where we'd get through like 3 innings.
No, this is baseball. There's no fucking clock. The clock is out. What are we doing here?
I'm like, what is this shit? This is garbage, So I didn't go back.
No. That is an affront to the sport.
Yeah, and I had to play third base because I was the only person on the team that could make the throw to first. So you could imagine the quality of this league.
Probably not great, yeah.
They're like, what position do you play? I'm like, well, I used to play shortstop, but I'm like 30 now. Maybe move me to second. And then but they're like, well, I don't know. You want to try third? I'm like, why? They're like, well, we're having trouble. No one else on the team could complete a throw on a ground ball from third to first except for me, so I got stuck at third base.
Which is tough, which is admittedly tough, and that's why I never played third, but good for you.
I'm thinking, I'm over the hill. I'm 30. Yeah. I'm like 29, and I'm like, you better move me to second. And no, they had to move me to third because no one else had an arm.
Having a good third baseman is the key to a great softball team. I can tell you that because every time I won a league, it's because the guy we had at third, like I played in a city league. We played in like a co-ed league, and then we played in a men's league. And the guy we got was just like somebody knew a guy, and he came one time, and we had like just random people at third or whatever. I think maybe I played third once or twice. I was horrible. I couldn't make the throw. And then he's like, I think I know a guy who comes in. So I wanted to play first. I prefer to play first. I like scooping the ball. I like making the plays at first.
Picking machine.
Yeah. I love it. That's always been. Even when I was a kid, I loved playing first base. Even when I was mobile, it's like a lot of fun. I love picking. You're always a part of the game. You know what I mean?
Even when I was mobile.
No, I said younger. Younger.
You said even when I was mobile.
No, I can still play center field, for God's sakes. I play basketball.
Rich is a DH now. Rich is David Ortiz.
Man. I haven't played softball in years. I probably am a DH at this point. But I couldn't hit either. I was not a very good hitter ever, so I was more of a defensive guy most times. But no, I always want to play first, so I was like, oh, thank God. This guy, you said he could play third. And they said, yeah, he can play third or whatever. So this guy comes and he's like, yeah, I'm pretty good or whatever. I played, I'm all right. I haven't played in a while or whatever. So we're doing like warm-ups or whatever. And he's just fucking lasering it into me. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm like, you got a pretty good arm. He's like, yeah, I played D1. So, that was like 3 years ago though. And I was like, that's not that long ago, dude. He was incredible. Like we so easily won the league because you just couldn't hit to that side of the field.
Right.
No matter what, he'd scoop it up, he'd dive, and he'd laser it over. And
you're like, oh no, a ground ball to third.
Yeah, I would get. I was like, we're gonna get it out, but I'm so scared because he would. And there were times where like we'd be, and this is like a co-ed like city league, and there's like people like we took it a little too serious, but there are other teams that were just breaking open 12 packs and just drinking or whatever. So it'd be this like girl wearing like yoga pants who doesn't even care and like hit a ground ball and she'd laugh or whatever. And he'd scoop it like, and I was like, brother, you got like a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like she's not coming out of the box. She doesn't care. It's okay. Like they've had 10 beers. Like just, you do not have to laser it in. But he was like, well, I can't really turn it off. So I'm like, all right, well then fine. Don't turn it off. But like, and then we played at a field that was like pretty run down or whatever, and the lights were really low. So sometimes he would throw it in those lights, and I would have to guess where it was going to be. And he knew he was good. It was always in the same place. But I was like, just so you know, I'm not seeing your ball. So if you could please just like sort of
chest high, please.
Yeah, chest high, or just take a little off of it. It doesn't need to be that, but he could not turn it off. We won the league though, so I don't care. But he had a homer every single time too. It was just incredible. I love that guy.
I've told the story before, but I played in a work league that was intergender. So you had to alternate the positions with male and female.
That's what they call it, intergender.
So, well, it's a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, it's true.
Intergender.
True. Yeah.
So you'd always have like, so the girl spots, like you'd always have one at catcher, and so, but I like this guy can't turn it off. I remember there was this one play and I was playing shortstop and there was a ball in the gap, men on base. So I take the cutoff, and for a minute, I forgot that like this 15-year-old girl who worked the counter at fucking Pizza Hut was catching. I turned around and threw a.
You think she's Roy Campanella over there?
Yeah. I turned around and threw a fucking laser beam to home plate like I'm trying to gun down Ricky Henderson, and it was in slow motion. She like put one leg up, both of her arms in front of her face, made no attempt to catch the ball. Ricocheted off her wrist, and she like broke a bone in her fucking forearm, and I felt horrible. It was like just one of the worst feelings of my life because mid throw I remembered who was catching.
Right,
I was
it's
this is a mistake.
It's Alexi from the front counter. Yeah.
And I threw a 90-mile-per-hour laser beam to home plate,
like fucking got her like shoddy bench over there. And
I felt so gross, as the throw was careening towards her face. But at least she got her arms up. But
that is a common issue. I would say that is a thing that when you want to master intergender softball and or co-ed softball, it's often running. If you think you can make it to third, because more times than not. A bad team is going to put their worst player at catcher.
Yes.
That's not a good idea because if you're turning that corner and you're like, I'm going to go for it, like they're not going to catch this.
Right.
So you do that. Once that league that we won a bunch of times, the one time we lost, this team showed up and every one of the girls on the team was like a D1 softball player. They fucking killed us. Because they had a girl at third and she was just fucking amazing. She's diving for everything. So they had the guys in the bad spot. They had a guy at like second and a guy at right field or whatever. And those guys were pretty good too. But these, oh my God, they were incredible. It's just like Jesus Christ.
Well, in this one you had to alternate. So if you had a guy at first, you had to have a girl at second, a guy at short. Yeah. Like you couldn't just.
That's how everyone is. Yeah, that's how everyone is.
You couldn't just do it anyway. So you had the pitcher and the catcher. So the key, too, is to have a woman on the team who could pitch because then you could have a guy catching, and then you don't have to worry about not being able to throw to home plate. Now, you're going to put your worst guy at catcher. Don't get me wrong. But you have more of a chance of someone who's at least able to catch the ball rather than, again, if it's some work league having, so that's kind of how you
and this is not a problem in a serious co-ed league. This is a problem in like a beer league or whatever, or a work league.
Yeah. Because if it's a serious intergender league, like you're saying, you're gonna have women that are better than half the men because they've played softball their whole life. So then it's not really it's not as much of an issue with the position breakdown. If you don't bring up wrestling, I'm not going to. I promise you. I'm fucking ready. I can do this.
It's tempting.
All right, here comes the next time. I gave you a chance.
Tempting. It's tempting.
So, my wheels are spinning.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot of wrestling this week. Not a lot of wrestling this week. The CMLL fans might get a little mad though. We're going to give them.
It promised a chance to watch the All Japan. I never got to it.
You never got
All
to
Japan?
it? I did. I got to the
I didn't get
junior
to the
title or the junior tournament final, and I got to the tag match, but you never got to it. Okay.
So that eliminates a topic.
It does. It takes one off the board, yeah.
Holy shit, it's 9:15.
Well, we started late, too.
That's true. We started at 8. Maybe after 8. Timestamp that, YouTubers. How you guys doing?
Honestly, because there are those people now, I kind of need to. Now more than ever, I want to do the All Banter show because I want to see how they react to it. Or what
Absolutely.
we do, or honestly, what it would be a really good gimmick too is then in the last minute be like, Joe, thoughts? WWE's deal with ESPN. You're like, all right, so I think, all right, Joe, that's out of time. We got to go. So they have to timestamp like, I mean, technically, the last minute was wrestling talk. So I kind of think that's even a better gimmick than the All Banter. I think shoving like 2 minutes of wrestling talk at the end and then being like, all right, we're out of time. See you later.
Well,
I don't know.
it's your call, sir.
Oh, man.
I'm raring to go.
Oh, boy. I don't know. I think WWE deal with ESPN, I think probably is worth talking about. Yeah, it's a big story. MJF's winning that World Light Heavyweight title and CMLL, that's a big thing. They got their Grand Prix they announced. That seems kind of big. The anniversary show's coming together. Triple Mania. Now, Triple Mania does not start until next week. So that when we combine that with the All Japan, because we're not talking about, we don't have to talk about All Japan because you didn't get to it. Triple Mania does not start until the 16th, so that's next week. You can punt that to next week if we really wanted to. ML Dub I just added because it's like, well, let's fucking talk about ML Dub if we have to talk about ML Dub, but I don't need to talk about MLW. And that'd be a preview anyway. MLW Blood and Thunder airs this Saturday on YouTube.
Yeah, why do you have MLW on the sheet?
You never know. Maybe you want to preview the Paul London Neon Lightning match, the 8th Lightning match in their series, and see,
Maybe if we run out of topics.
That's kind of, the idea was like, if we're getting a little low on stuff, I can, banter about MLW for a second. But, not necessary. Yeah, really the WWE deal with ESPN is the only real necessary thing. So we could filibuster if we wanted to.
That's a pretty big topic.
I think we have to get to that at some point, right?
And as you know, once we start talking wrestling, it stays very streamlined and on topic.
Absolutely. You still sound pretty far away. I don't know if your mic got messed up or something, but
I don't know. Oh, whoa, what happened?
There you go. Okay, Mike. I don't know, something weird with your mic, but we got it.
One can only wonder what happened there and why
I have no idea.
My mouth was away from the mic for a minute there.
Yeah, it's all right. It happens to the best of us. All right, so here, real quick, I got something for you. I forget if this is your thing or not. Are you a Hard Knocks guy or no?
I hate Hard Knocks.
I thought you did. Yeah, I thought you did. Have you watched? Do you watch it anymore, or have you thrown in the towel?
I don't watch Hard Knocks. Why? No, I don't find it entertaining. I don't care about Hard Knocks.
You were never a Hard Knocks guy either, right?
I guess very early on when it was new and different, and the Rams have been on it once or twice, and I watched it out of obligation when the Rams were on it. But no, will I tune into 1 second of Buffalo Bills Hard Knocks? No, I will not.
It's not very good. I can tell you
Maybe
right
just
now.
a show where they have cut day. I enjoy cut day.
Yeah, they've. What I will say about Hard Knocks, unfortunately, is it's too. And I usually am a pretty big fan of it. But it's kind of lost its luster. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows what they're doing. The template is there. Every player knows they're on Hard Knocks and how to act and what to say and what to do. And every camera shot is exactly this. You know what I mean? It's all so manufactured and perfect. And it doesn't feel gritty anymore. It doesn't feel like you're like the early ones, like you really felt like you were a fly on the wall. You know what I mean? Like we're getting access we're not supposed to get. But now it's like, it's so obvious that everybody knows the score and everybody knows what's going on. So yeah, I'm out too. I thought you were out. I didn't know if you were still checking in every so often, but
it doesn't interest me.
Yeah, the cut ones were pretty good. But that, again, that's the template would be every single year, and I'm sure I've only watched the first 2 seasons of the Buffalo Bills one, but every template of every year is, here's some guy, he's not very good, but he's trying really hard during minicamp or whatever. You know what I mean? It's always some white dude. It's always some bald white guy. You know what I mean? Or long-haired white guy. It's either bald white guy or long-haired white guy, and it's like he's not the most talented guy but he's trying really hard. And it's see him making a bunch of tackles or whatever, and the coach being like, "Hey, hell of a job." You know what I mean? It's always the same, and then eventually they have to cut him.
It's like the 9th guy on the depth chart at wide receiver, and realistically, he has no chance of making the team.
No.
Yeah, you're right. It's always someone like that. It's never someone who's genuinely on the cut line, or never seems to be. At least when but again, I haven't watched a lot of it.
Nah, so. It's the same. It's the same thing it's been for a while. So all right, yeah, I thought I had a feeling you were out, but yeah, it's. I'd say this Buffalo Bills one. Yeah.
My stance on meaningless sports. I can't do it. Like preseason football, I won't watch a single snap. I can't do it.
Preseason football is pretty rough. Yeah, even when I was a big NFL fan, I would never.
Yeah.
Did you, and your Madden days, I know you probably did this too. This would happen to me every year. I'd start a new season and I'd play that first game, or I'd be like, all right, first game, let's do this or whatever. And then like halfway through the second quarter, my quarterback's out and I'm like, oh, fuck, what happened? What happened? And then I realized, oh, it's a preseason game. Fuck it up.
Oh, the preseason games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like, I don't know if that's still around anymore.
I don't know if that's a feature anymore either. Yeah.
You wouldn't know. Like, it wasn't very obvious that it was a preseason game, and you would only know until, like, your quarterback got taken out or your running back was gone or the other team. And you're like, oh, fuck, did he get hurt? Like, you looked at the injury report. He's not there. You're looking at what's going on. And then you realize it's a preseason game. What am I doing?
I think Madden just came out today, didn't it?
I'm out of it. I'm out of the game. I'm college football.
Or yesterday or the other, just past Tuesday, maybe. Usually Tuesdays. I think Madden just came out this week. Or maybe just for the pre-order geeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the pre-order geeks. Yeah. I'm out. I haven't done a Madden in many years. So.
Yeah. I got it last year for the first time in many, many years because the boy wanted it. And no, I don't know. I maybe played 2 hours, went right back to college football.
That's the game.
Went right back to college football. So it's a shame. Used to be large part of my life.
That's how we know each other, yeah.
Very large part of my life. But actually, last year people wanted me to stream college football. I think I might do it this year behind the paywall for the sickos who were asking me to do that. Because the way I see it, I'm going to play, once I get my dynasty going, I'm going to play every single night because that's when I'm going to wind down.
Yeah.
So what's the point? Just slap the button and put the link up behind the paywall, and if people want to watch, they can watch. So I'm probably going to do that once I get rolling and do a couple test streams and make sure it all works. I don't know. I signed up and did all the shit you're supposed to do, but it keeps telling me that YouTube has to verify my identity, and it takes up to 24 hours, but that was 3 days ago, and it keeps giving me that message. So maybe it isn't going to happen.
You want the login? You want the Voice of Wrestling login? I can get you that.
Yeah, but
I know a guy.
I don't think I would need that though. I think.
You'd sign in on that account and then stream through that account. You're trying to stream on your like personal account, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so. They're gonna what they want you to do is like upload your driver's license and shit, so they can verify your identity, just so they know you're not a kid. You're not a fucking sex pest or whatever.
No. So it had me verified it was my account, just with basic stuff, my password, the 2-factor on my phone, and I did all that.
Okay.
And it said it verified who I was, but then I'm getting a message now. We've never sounded older. I'm getting a message now.
It sounds like my parents called me.
No, but I did everything they asked me to do. I did it right. It verified that it was my YouTube account. But now when I go to broadcast, okay, I get a pop-up that says YouTube is still verifying my ID, and this process may take 24 hours. All right, no problem. But I've been checking back for 3 days, and I keep getting that same pop-up. So I don't know. I'm just waiting for that, and then we'll see what happens. But again, I'm not going to – if it doesn't, I'm not going to investigate and it's not that big a deal or that important. But if I could figure out how to do it, I was thinking what I would do is just do private videos on my own account, but then put the link behind the Patreon paywall.
Yes. Do unlisted. You do an unlisted video. You throw that link in there. Yeah, I'm just saying you can use the Voice of Wrestling account if you need to, and then then you could say slap that like button, subscribe. But it'd only be our people anyway.
Here's my problem though. If I do that, it's going to restart that 24-hour process that's taken 72 hours.
Right. I don't know what's going on with that. You'll have to look. I'll have to investigate that for you. Get you streaming on there. You got a headset, or what are you doing here? Are you talking while you're playing, or are you just going to play?
I don't know how it works.
So going to have people watch you play.
I was going to do some test streams with the golf because I got the golf going.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not setting up a camera. That's a no-go. I'm in my underwear. It's going to be 2:00 in the morning. That's not happening.
Yeah, Joe, and you're not going to be in the gamer chair.
No, and I'm not. None of that shit. Okay, setting up some room with black lights. None of that shit.
Yeah, black light, purple lights behind you. What's up, fam? Joe Lanzi here.
Right.
College football 26. Let's go. Yeah.
This is going to be the usual
subscriber chat in the corner, and bells and whistles going off, and subscriber drives or whatever, the little bar. And we're only 4 subscribers away. Hit that like button, subscribe. Yeah.
The usual no frills flagship experience is what it's going to be, So you're going to
just live stream through the PS.
Yes, through the PS.
Interface.
Yes, exactly through the PS5
interface.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Or it made me verify my, And I think maybe you could talk through the mic on the remote, so they'll hear me.
Hear me. I suppose. Yeah.
That's all they need. When I'm cursing and spitting about,
Actually do it on your normal account. Don't do it on the Voice Wrestling account. Just in case. At Joe Lanza Flagship will be perfectly fine. Yeah.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Now that I think about it, you know what?
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
I think Joe Lanza Flagship will be just fine.
Yeah. So I think that's how it'll work. I think you could talk through the mic on it because it's going to be.
I think you can talk through the mic on that. Yeah, I think you're supposed to probably get like a headset or something. But
Fuck that. I'm not trying to make money off this. I'm just, you know what I mean?
I'm playing anyway, so you bozos can watch me if you want. Type of thing.
It's
for the real sickos. It's because it's going to be at like 3 a.m. or whatever. It's just total sicko hours. Yeah,
it's just for the total sickos. I'm not trying to be Mr. Beast. Okay, I'm just out there. If you want to follow and see how long it takes for me to win a natty with Rutgers, then this is for you.
Is that is that squad? Is that squad?
I don't
New Jersey stand up?
Probably not, because I used a Big Ten team last year, and I'm tired of those stadiums. So
I get that way too. I always, if it's like, because last year I did a lot of Hawaii and I did a lot of West Coast stuff, and I was like, nah, I can't do that. So I did Akron. I started with Akron this year, and I'm going to focus on the East Coast. I'm going to focus on the East Coast and the South or whatever. Yeah, I did a lot of West Coast, a lot of, I'm good. Enough mountains for 1 year.
I haven't settled on a team yet. But I want to see some different stadiums, and who knows? I don't know what team it's going to be, but
let me not recommend Akron. I'll tell you, I'm planning my exit already out of that. They're the worst team in the game. I don't know how the Zips got so bad at football, but 61 overall, I'm struggling. I'm doing okay, but it's. I
thought Delaware was the worst team in it. It's Akron, huh?
Yeah, right. Akron's the worst. Yeah. They're less than 1 star. They're like a half a star and a 61 overall. So started there.
Yeah.
Offensive coordinator. Hopefully get a good gig this year in the offseason. Move on.
Yeah, that was what I used to do back in the day. Just take the dreariest, worst team and build them from scratch. But it's like where they don't even broadcast your games. You don't even get commentators. Like, are you getting that?
It tells you that too. Yeah, no. So they don't. What they do, unfortunately, they do have the commentators, but it'll tell me on the thing, like, or on the schedule, like what the game is, and they're like streaming, and I'm like, oh no, I'm like on Flow. I'm on like Flow Sports or whatever. I'm like, oh dear God, like
on the
UMass versus Akron on Flow Sports or whatever. It's like, oh fuck, ESPN Plus. Yeah,
on the PS2. If your game was,
you didn't get announcers.
You didn't even get announcers.
I know, it was so great. It was so perfect.
Yeah, they should have. So I figured, that'd be how it is now, but I guess not.
No, I wish, because I heard. I last year I remember when they did that. They're like, you're on stream, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, here we go. Sounds of the game, and they had the commentators, and I was like, oh come on.
Still get the commentators anyway. Yeah. What they should do is, if your game's not on TV, you should get no commentators and none of the overlays either. You don't get the broadcast. You get nothing. That's how they should. You should earn
absolutely.
That. Anyway, so we'll see what happens with that. I'll check it again later. So I'm in round 4 of the U.S. Amateur Open in my career on the golf. So I've been saving that round in case anybody wants to, see if I can take that home. But I can't get the thing to work. So I don't know. Again, we've never sounded older.
Is the golf good this year? I like golf video games. I don't like golf at all, but I always like golf video games. Is this year's the golf pretty good?
I don't know. I got the EA Road to the Masters from 2 years ago because it was on sale for like $4.
Okay.
So the EA hasn't made a game since then.
There's a 2K. There's a 2K golf.
The 2K golf is the hot golf game, but no. So I just picked up the Road to the Masters, and yeah, it's fine. It's like every other EA golf game that ever existed. You swing with the gimmick, and it's. I don't know. Have you played EA golf games before? It's the
I have.
Same
Yeah, it always comes down to the putting though. The putting is like drastically different every time I play.
Yeah, the putting. I mean, every time I get this is the nerdiest shit. Every time I get XP, Rich, I apply that to my putting because again, you don't want to. It's great to get on the green in 2 on a par 5, but then when you 3 putt, it just fucking ruins
it's
the
really
whole.
really demoralizing.
So I put everything towards my power and my putting. So I'm ripping 370-yard drives and I'm making sure that the putting. But then if I ever
the fairway is fucked. Yeah,
my short game is fucked. It is so fucked. Like, if I am anywhere near the fringe, I'm just switching to the putter and taking my chances with the 78-foot putt. Because if I try to chip it or do a flop, anything, I'm in a worse position than I started in. So I probably should start moving some XP. I feel gross even saying that to
this is the streamer. This is streamer Joe talking right now. Hey guys, we got some XP here. Let's try to add to my power. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat.
I'm putting up a poll. You tell me.
Yeah. How should I spend my XP right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ding 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 ching 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 ching. Different noises going on or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll be selling candy bars in no time. So
selling candy bars.
That's the gimmick. All the streamers now, they sell candy bars. Mr.
Like
Beast did it. Now they all do. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Because you don't make money. And there's like 5 other ones that have, there's podcasts that have, because you don't make any money on YouTube, which is the great, which people don't realize. But Mr. Beast makes a fraction of his wealth on YouTube. It's all about the other shit. It's all about the other shit. So yeah, a lot of them are diversifying with candy bars and other bullshit because the margins are much higher and the time is minimal. So,
well, where's our candy bar? We could have a candy bar.
I agree. We should have a candy bar. I don't think we could decide on what it would be, though. I think you and I like different candy bars.
I don't give a fuck as long as people buy it. Shit, what's
I guess you don't have to eat it. Yeah, you don't care. In the chat room, chat, should I fire my caddy? This is your future. It's good, yeah. I love that.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, God. All right.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're crushing morning miles or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
Maybe later tonight. Keep an eye out.
Oh, look at that. If you get verified.
Well, if it fucking works, I'll do it. I can't get the thing to work.
So do we think it's on PS5's end or YouTube's end?
Bro, I don't know. I told you. It just says...
I don't know.
It says we're waiting for verification, and then it says go to website. So I click it because you can go to website on the PS5, and it just has my email address to my YouTube, and it says, yeah, you're verified. But it won't... I don't know. I don't know.
All right, there's a Reddit thread here. I'll send it to you, but... Doesn't look like it's going to help very much, but...
I think I just got to wait around until YouTube gives it
I don't think it's going to work that way. I think you're stuck in a conundrum here. So I sent
should I restart the process? I got to restart the process.
I sent you a guy. Who's got a guide for you. But
all right. See, what's going to happen is I'm going to lose interest because it's just too fucking.
It's
difficult.
too hard, and then you're done. Yeah.
And then I'm going to say, well, fuck this. I don't need this in my life. Is what's going to happen.
Which should be a shame. Which should be a real shame.
Well, we'll see.
I'm calling it. I'm throwing in the towel here. A valiant effort. And a minute 40.
We'll see.
I think we got to do some wrestling.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it. All right. Let's talk about Dynamite and the Dynamite rating. Joe, you did the Dynamite review on the Patreon, patreon.com/voices of wrestling, or flagship patreon.com, however you want to get there. Weekly Thursday Dynamite review. Annual. That'd be one.
I picked
that's
one
a
a
good
year.
idea. One a year. All right, guys, here he is.
I spin a wheel.
Right. June
Nope,
13th.
not this week.
Yeah, June 13th next week. That's a good gimmick, yeah. Probably not a successful gimmick for the Patreon. I'm glad you do it weekly. The weekly Thursday Dynamite review. So you did recap and review this week's Dynamite behind the paywall, $5 tier, flagship patreon.com. But we do have some news that has come out since you did that Dynamite review, and it kind of relates to what we did last week, where last week we wanted to punt the Thursday Dynamite review to the flagship so that we could talk about the rating. Well, we didn't get it in time. The rating never came out. It was what would you call last week's rating? So-so, kind of meh.
I thought it was exactly what we said it was going to be, just in the normal range, where the world title match did a little better than the rest of the show, but nothing to write home about or celebrate in terms of how the world title match did. And that's what it was. It peaked at a 0.17, and it ran through a second quarter hour, and a 0.17 is fine for the match, but it was the best performing quarters on the show, which it should have been.
Yeah,
it's a world title match, but it wasn't anything where anybody was like, wow, what an incredible, wow. They didn't pop a quarter or anything like that. It did fine. It did aggressively fine.
Well, this week, I'd say this very different number here as Dynamite came in at 711,000 viewers in the total average. 18 to 49 was a 0.18. So that was a pretty big jump. Dynamite was number 2 for the night on cable in the 18 to 49. South Park on Comedy Central was number 2 with a 0.34, 18 to 49. So that... it's an interesting number there, as it's a big jump in total viewers. We'll talk about the total viewers first and then get to the demo. I mean, total viewers, you're looking at 612 last week, up to 711 this week, so 16% up week over week. It was, WrestleNomics does the trailing 4 weeks, which I think is always pretty cool too. So that was up plus 16% over the trailing 4 weeks as well. So that looked really good. And the 18 to 49, that's where you see the big jumps. Yeah, 0.15 last week to the 0.18, so you had 20% jump in the 18 to 49. And then again, 0.15 was the trailing 4 weeks, and this one was another 20% up over that. So just a pretty solid all-around rating for Dynamite this week, and one that, you've been clamoring for, wanting to see some business metrics after All In, and let's see if things sort of pop up a little bit and start get going. And I'd say this episode is evidence of, pretty, we'll see. Now, 1 week does not make a trend. We'll see what next week does and the week after or whatever, but definitely an encouraging-ish number from Dynamite this week.
Yeah, it's 1 week. I wouldn't be, popping champagne and thinking that, this is the start of some massive hot period for AEW based on 1 week rating, because this could easily slip back. They could do a 0.14 next week and 595,000 viewers. So I used to talk about this all the time on the Dynamite reviews when I would do intensive ratings talk every week. You have to be careful with 1 week aberrations, because sometimes that happens for whatever reason that you can investigate all you want and you cannot figure out. I know there's theories that with AEW specifically and with Dynamite, when they have a very good, well-received show, that sometimes that results in a bump the following week. And you can find examples of that. My counter to that would be Dynamite's been really good for months now. When's the last time there was a bad episode of Dynamite? So I don't know if last week's episode was so great that it was above and beyond the quality of the recent run of the show. I don't know if I agree with that. So I don't know, but could that have been the reason? And, it brought back everybody who watched last week, plus some viewers who heard how good the show was last week. That's possible. It usually comes down to competition, why a show will have big ebbs and flows and have aberration weeks, either to the good or to the bad. That's usually what it comes down to. So you'd have to look at the competition last week versus the competition this week, and all of those things. And even then, sometimes you cannot figure out why a show just does an abnormal number versus what they've been doing. Sometimes you can't explain it. So we see next week. If they come out next week and they do over 700,000 viewers again, and they do like a 0.17 or a 0.19 or something like that, that's when you say, all right, here we go. We might have something here. There's renewed interest in this thing above and beyond what they've been doing over the last few months. And now we're seeing some real positive signs that these good vibes and the good, the positive aura, that's been around the company for a number of months now and took us through All In is now being reflected in some sort of business metric outside of the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views always perform well. They will continue to perform well. We've talked about why a million times. There is consumer trust in AEW pay-per-views because they're almost always great. So they're going to sell tickets to pay-per-views. They're going to sell lots of pay-per-views. That's never a problem. It's been
you're going to get the stars too, which is another important thing that Dynamite suffers from and Collision suffers from, is that you really very often you have no fucking idea who's going to be on the show until maybe hours before, maybe an hour before, maybe when Tony goes live on Twitter is when you know what's going to be on the Dynamite show. I mean, you might know a match or two here and there, but on a pay-per-view, you understand that when I buy my ticket, there's a good chance, a very good chance, barring injury, that I'm going to see all the top stars are going to be on this pay-per-view or whatever. And that's a benefit that WWE has. And it's boring in some ways because WWE will all, pretty much if you buy a ticket to Raw, you're going to see all the stars from Raw. If you buy a ticket to SmackDown, you're going to see all, like, pretty much every week. Like, the consistent stars are going to be there no matter what. And back in the day, if they weren't on there, they would show up on the dark match or whatever. But you're almost always guaranteed that when you go to a WWE show, that's because WWE does not announce a whole lot of cards ahead of time, but it's kind of implied that, yeah, Cody's going to be there. If you go buy a ticket to SmackDown, there's a very good chance Cody Rhodes is going to be there or whatever. So Dynamite is not necessarily the case with that, but the pay-per-views always are. Pay-per-views, barring, some horrific injury, you're going to get all the top dudes are going to be on that show.
Well, we could opine on the reason that things are that way all we want, and I think your theory is solid, and we've talked about it a million times. And my point is, it's not that AEW isn't doing good business. They're obviously doing killer business for their pay-per-views. They have a media rights deal that immediately makes them solvent. What I've been talking about the last couple of weeks is seeing signs of a turnaround coming so they can get some of the other consumer metrics back into the range that they had at other points in the history of the company. Okay, that would mean ticket sales. That would mean television viewership. All of those things, which for whatever reason have stagnated at a certain point. And even though there's great sort of energy around the promotion, and they've had great TV for at least 2-3 months on end now, week after week, we're not seeing any signs. I mean, Cleveland last night did a smidge over 3,000 fans. They were down over 600 fans from the last time they were there in October. Okay. And you might say, 600 fans. But when you're dealing with 3,600 fans, that's a 18% drop.
When you put it in percentages, it makes it a little bit more,
It's not losing 600 fans. It's not the difference between doing 15,000 and 14,400. Okay. 600 fans is almost a 20% drop in attendance from the last time they were in the same city, in the same building, at a time where the company didn't feel nearly as hot, didn't have the same positive vibes around it that it has now. I'm sorry, but that's a disturbing number. And you could use any excuse you want. You could talk about the economy. You could talk about not advertising things in advance. You could talk about AEW's poor marketing. I never take any of that shit seriously because why doesn't any of that stuff ever come up when they're doing well? It's just excuses. It's people don't want to buy the tickets. If the show was hot, they'd buy the tickets. And we have evidence of that with other companies. So that's bad. They're not going to do well in Roanoke in a couple days. It's going to be the same story there. So what is preventing people from buying tickets to these shows, and what needs to be done? Now, you had one theory, right? But what can be done to get people to buy tickets to the rank and file shows like they used to? I don't know. I don't have the answer, and they clearly don't have the answer.
I would say what I would do is make them look more like your pay-per-views, or make them as close to your pay-per-views as possible, because we see that whatever you do on the pay-per-view seems to work, and the ticket-buying audience seems to respond to that very well.
They do have great shows, though. They have great. But last night was a great show.
I don't know if they have. They have good matches on their shows. I don't think they have great matches on their shows. They used to have great matches. They don't have. I don't know if
giving away pay-per-view quality shows on TV is a good long-term idea.
Probably not, but.
Now, they do it a few times a year.
Yeah.
For their special
They used to do it more
shows.
often. They used to do it more often.
I think they would accidentally have great pay-per-view quality shows more often, but I don't know if you're going to go full bore and try to have pay-per-view quality shows every week.
I don't think pay-per-view quality shows. I think having a mind to do a pay-per-view quality match every so often is not the worst idea. And I don't know that even on their good days, I don't know if they do that anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, either way, we could diagnose what they can do to fix it. I'm looking for this company coming off a well-received, from both a critical and business standpoint, pay-per-view I want that to start being reflected in the overall business of the company. Pay-per-views have done solid to great business for 6 years. That's never been a problem. If they start losing pay-per-view business, we got some red flags. People still buy tickets to the pay-per-views. People still watch the pay-per-views. But I've seen no signs until this Dynamite rating, which, again, I'm taking with a grain of salt until I see a trend. 1 week is not a trend. Okay? Last week's world title match peaked at a 0.17 to give people some perspective. Okay? The week before, a Claudio Castagnoli, Mark Briscoe main event in quarter hour 8 did a 0.16. Quarter hour 8, not the top of the hour. Traditionally a lower rated quarter than the top of the hour where the world title match was. And they essentially did, the main event, the world title match did a little better, a smidge better. 2 weeks before that, at the top of the hour, so an equal comp, apples to apples, a Cope and Stokely Hathaway in-ring talking segment did a 0.16 and actually had better growth quarter over quarter than the world title match had in quarter hour 5. And now, again, I'm not trying to demonstrate that the world title match flopped and that these other segments outperformed it. The world title match outperformed these other segments, but not by the degree that you would expect a world title match with Hangman Page to do so. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, of course.
Shouldn't it crush an in-ring segment with Cope and Stokely Hathaway?
Yeah, that's a big time match.
Shouldn't it crush a quarter hour match between Mark Briscoe and Claudio Castagnoli? No disrespect to any of those people. Okay? And those segments did well. But I expect the world title match with Hangman Page and Jon Moxley to truly spike a quarter. And like we talked about last week, we knew it wasn't going to. So I want to see AEW get hot, truly hot. And a truly hot company puts a free world title match on TV with two of their biggest stars. You see one of those mountainous spikes in the quarters. That's what you see. You see, now they ran it in the residency, so you can't go there. But, you'd like to see them come back the next week and crush what they did in Cleveland 10 months earlier. You'd like to see them fill up the building in Roanoke where Hangman, he's from right down the fucking street. You'd like to see Cincinnati after that and all these other cities they're going to, but we're not seeing any kind of different ticket movement in any of these cities yet. And I know it's only been a month, but I mean, come on. When I know it's like the analogy I made last week, a cruise ship turns very slowly. I understand that.
It doesn't happen overnight.
But I want to at least see some signs because I feel like we should have been seeing some signs by this point. And let me make something else very clear because I made this clear on the TV review. I'm not predicting it's not going to happen. In fact, I'm surprised it hasn't yet.
Yeah, you're just analyzing.
I think it's going to happen because I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. And maybe I'm being a little impatient. I don't know. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. So will this Hangman Page MJF program spark something? I think it could. Maybe that's what drove the interest in this Dynamite because I look at the quarter hours and I don't see an obvious reason. I don't see an obvious match, an obvious quarter. There were some quarters with some good growth, right near the top of the hour like usual. The main event with Mark Briscoe and MJF, it did well in the overrun. A lot of times the overruns go down, which is weird. This overrun spiked. So people were interested in the finish of Mark Briscoe MJF, which leads me to this. Are they under pushing Mark Briscoe?
Oh, of course. Always.
Because as I noted, a couple of weeks ago, the Claudio match did very well for quarter hour 8. Did, I think, the highest quarter in the demo. I'd have to double check, but did a 0.16, basically the same as the world title match next week. And I just feel like when it comes to Mark Briscoe, there's something there. He has a crowd connection that very few people on the roster do. And Tony, while he puts him on TV a lot, he treats him as a guy who's going to lose to the stars. His role in this feud is to put MJF over as Hangman Page's next challenger. His role in this feud is to garner sympathy and for MJF to step on someone who people like, so MJF will go into the Hangman feud as hateable as possible. And I think, and I've been saying this for months, that I think if you put Mark Briscoe in the role of being a drawing babyface, I think it would work.
I think right now, especially it could work because I think a lot of we've seen the publicity a lot. He's been making the rounds, and there's been the Players Tribune thing came out, and I think now more than ever he is, and he's super relatable too. I think they have something. They have an actual babyface. They have a babyface that they can push right now with Mark Briscoe. I'm with you. I would say him just being the lost post is definitely it's a misuse of him, I would say. There are way better ways to use Mark Briscoe. They may have stumbled into it, but I think you got to pivot. If you haven't, now I'm not saying he needs to win the world championship, of course, but I would move him into something where he wins a little more often, like you said, not a guy who loses to the stars, which is essentially what he's been used as.
We've got some pieces of evidence now that he delivers when you put him in an important part of the show.
Yeah,
and that's with people understanding his role. People, you can't fool the people. They know if someone's being pushed or not. They understand what he is and who he is. So, I mean, that one, I just feel like people want to like him. They want to cheer for him. He's a very effective promo. And the one thing with Mark Briscoe, he is upper top tier, S tier at garnering sympathy as a babyface. You feel for that guy. You want him to win. And that's not easy to create. You can't create that. People either have that or they don't. So it's very easy to create an emotional bond with him. And no matter how much he gets beat, he's always over. Yeah. That's the other thing I look at. He gets beat like a drum. He never wins the big match. He loses all the big matches. He wins sometimes, but he loses the big match like he did last night. But it never affects the fans still stay behind him. That's another very important quality in a babyface where they still believe in him. So, other than that, some of the other quarters did, like the whole show did good. You can't really look at this quarter hour chart and pinpoint anything. It's just, we'll find out next week if it was just one of those nights.
Yeah, I would love to see Briscoe. When my head's kind of going as you're talking about Briscoe thing. I think the Continental Classic would be a perfect opportunity to have him do like a good run, like a Cinderella run or whatever, and then ultimately he can lose. He loses when he goes for the title or something like that, but something like that, or he loses in the finals or whatever. But that's a great way to use him. I think is a guy who just through the TV show. Because he's a good TV wrestler. He's a great TV wrestler. Like him to go on there and just keep, shocking you, and you keep looking. You're like, oh shit, he's there. He's in the mix. And he just does it. You know what I mean? He just makes it to the finals or goes for the world title or whatever. And yeah, it could be a throwaway world title match if you really want to. But I don't think it is. With him, I don't think it is. I think.
Well, let me ask you this: a couple pay-per-views ago, he lost to Ricochet. What have they done with Ricochet since?
Yeah,
that's the kind of match Mark Briscoe should win. I think there's more money in Mark Briscoe than Ricochet. And I love Ricochet's heel work. But there was no follow-up with that Ricochet win. He's a mid-card guy, Ricochet. Now, there might be plans for him down the line. I'm sure there is. Sometimes you got to wait your turn. But, I mean, that's just one example of a big match that he loses. And, and his role in this feud is very clear. It's what I laid out earlier. And now MJF's focus is going to be on Hangman. And now Hangman has to face MJF because Hangman's been telling him, you have to earn it. Mm-hmm. He went out there and earned it.
I like it. I like the story. I do.
I like everything they've been doing with Hangman.
Oh, yeah.
I think his presentation has been great.
Yeah, he's a confident guy now. He's not
confident guy,
willowing, not cowering in fear. And it's just like, I'm the fucking world champ. You want it, me?
He showed growth. He learns. And and he's not falling for it. He would have fell for MJF's bullshit in another time, but he didn't this time. So, I don't know what do you have any takes on the rating or
no? For me, it's never one rating that I want to see how next week goes because you never know with these aberration weeks because if it goes right back to 500, then it's like, oh fuck, well what was that? What the hell was that 1 week? Or it goes to 600 or whatever. And so I want to see a couple weeks, but it was it was the first evidence that we have of some sort of uptick after All In. So that is that you look at that and go, okay, all right, now is this going to be a trend? Now we look. Now next week, that's when you can have the real take. If it's the same thing next week or it's even higher up, then you say, okay, yeah.
Then you go, all right, here we go. This is what I've been looking for. And then you're going to shut up people like me. Because that's exactly what I'm looking for. That's the kind of trend I'm looking for. I'm looking to go into a building, okay, and draw 1,500 more fans than you drew the last time you were there.
Right.
Because people are fired up about the Hangman. They're fired up about Hangman versus MJF. They're fired up about whoever the fuck, Tony Storm versus Athena, whatever it is. And now we're buying tickets because Dynamite's been great for months. And that's when you say, all right, this is a promotion that feels like it's getting hot beyond just vibes. Everyone talks about these vibes.
Yeah, vibes
and
don't pay the bills. Yeah, put some fucking people in the building.
I'm not denying that the vibes aren't good around AEW. The vibes have been good around AEW for a long time. Okay, but it's I want to see some positive momentum and some signs of growth beyond the pay-per-views, which at this point are just a given. And they're going to do tremendous business for Forbidden Door and everything around that. Another, $1 million plus gate, multi-million-dollar gate. The TV out there is going to do well. Okay, so that's great. Pay-per-views are all going to do great.
Yeah,
tickets.
Like tickets is where I've always been at this mindset, and I think you are as well. Like tickets are when you really, because there's not that much investment to turn your TV on or fire up your Max or whatever. You know what I mean? There's that, but buying a ticket, going to the show, driving to the show, taking the bus, taking the train, whatever you got to do, paying for parking, walking. There's a lot invested in that. When you're excited about something, that shit doesn't matter to you. You know what I mean? You don't give a fuck. If it's like, I don't care. If it's a great show, I'll find a way to get there. You know what I mean? And there's been plenty of Dynamites that I've went to in my past where I'm like, I got to leave from work. I got to sit in traffic for an hour and a half. I'm going to have to run to the arena, but I'm going to fucking be there for every second of that show. I don't care. That's where the rubber really meets the road is ticket buying, because the vibes might be good and a million people might be watching on Max or whatever. But I always look at it as if people are buying tickets to your stuff, that's when they really, truly love what you're doing and are really, truly invested all the way because there's a lot of work to go to a wrestling show. So, and you're not just, saying, I'll watch it on TV. It's fine. That's easy. Everybody could do that.
Yeah, I agree. This is set up perfectly for them to truly get hot.
Yeah.
They put the title back on their main character, their most popular babyface, in theory, right? They put the title on that guy.
And the second main character of the company is feuding with him,
too.
He's
the one challenging him. Yeah. Exactly. So you've got your two main characters, quote unquote, on top. And more importantly, though, Hangman's a champion, which they've built to for a long time, and it's what everybody wanted. You're coming off a very successful and critically acclaimed pay-per-view. And the other company, and we know that these two companies affect each other's business. We have 6 years of data now to look at. Okay, there's a push-pull here. Okay, WWE's house show business, their ticket sales business, if people are paying attention, while I would by no means say they're struggling or they're cold, because that would be preposterous, they're not putting 12,000 people into every Raw and SmackDown anymore. They're not. Sometimes they get 8. Sometimes they've got 6,500 going into the last day. Sometimes they get 10. But it is not the insta sellout that it was for about a year and a half, 2 years there, where if they had a TV, you were going to have 10,000 plus there every time. And the vibes around that promotion, whatever vibes are worth, have been the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. With Brock Lesnar and everything else, and just, bloodline petering out and a combination of things. People aren't as super positive about the company the way they were.
And the news we're going to talk about here in a little bit, too, which has not been received very well either.
Right. So it's like you have and so to me, and I keep making this analogy behind the paywall, they've handed the ball to Hangman Page in the red zone. You got to fucking score it now. You got to score it. I want to see something. It's all laid out for this company right now.
Yeah, we're at first and goal here.
Yeah,
get that ball.
Put the title on who everyone says is the right guy to put the title on. No one has disputed that. Okay, let's start seeing some results now with everything set up. You came into All In with some momentum. You came out of All In with momentum. The other company is having a lot of PR struggles, and they're not nearly as hot as they used to be. So, from that standpoint, look, it's all set up very nicely for AEW to really get hot here. And I hope that they do. And I'm just waiting for it. And I'm going to keep looking for signs.
Yeah, if you geek out in wrestling business, this is the perfect time to do it. Like, people might think that and I know there's a lot of that. It's like, oh, Joe just hates the Hangman. But it's like, if you enjoy wrestling business, this is awesome, because it's like, here is a perfect point. You know what I mean? Here is like a data point that you can look at and go, okay, the right guy that we all agree, the right guy has the title now. Let's see it work. Let's see if it works. Like classic business, wrestling business 101 would be, this is the guy, this is the babyface we put the title on. Let's start selling some tickets. You know what I mean? Like that.
Well,
that's,
listen,
so it's
I don't
fun.
know.
It's fun to follow this.
People are going to hear what they want to hear when I talk. I can't help that. Rich,
I'm not rooting for anybody. I mean, I don't have any. I'm not a stakeholder in any of this shit. I just want to.
When Zack Sabre Jr. won the IWGP title the first time, what did we talk about every New Japan show?
New Japan business every single time. Attendance.
On my G1 on my G1 daily audios that I'm doing right now, what's the first thing I talk about on every show? Say it again.
Attendance and how Hiroshi Tanahashi might not be helping their attendance all that much.
Has it been good?
No.
Okay. Have I buried one of the greatest wrestlers of all time under the earth for his retirement tour not working on the G1 tour?
You have, yes.
Okay. When we talk about virtually any promotion that we talk about, what's the first thing we talk about when we talk about a big show?
Attendance.
Have we broken down Ozawa and Noah and what he's done for their business?
Yeah, absolutely. Saito.
Have we broken down what the Saitos have done for All Japan and their business?
Yep.
For 15 years, any promotion that we've ever talked about, have we talked about the business around the promotion and the business around the top guys being pushed in the promotion?
Particularly when they have a new champion, yes. That is the time where we really hone in on it.
Really hone in on it.
Yeah.
So anyone who wants to come at me with that, I mean, no offense, you're full of shit. I'm not treating this situation any different than I've treated any other situation in the history of this show. We talk business here. Good, bad, and ugly. Good, bad, and ugly, we talk business. Have I not talked Dynamite ratings every week on the Dynamite Review for 6 years?
Yeah, every week, yeah.
For 6 years. I mean, I do it a little less now, but especially when they were head-to-head, that was the lead topic every week on the Dynamite Review. It didn't matter who was champion. So, I mean, if that's a thing, and I don't know if it's a major thing with a large, then it's just a bunch of fucking nonsense. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything because the champion happens to be very popular with vocal people online. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think and what's going on. I'm going to approach this job the same way I approach it for every promotion and every champion that this promotion has ever had. And the chips are going to fall. Maybe that, what I have to, maybe you don't want to hear it. All right, well, go listen to another show then. I'm going to talk about it. And when it turns around, I'm going to talk about that too. Because I'm just going to tell it like it is. So, I mean, you brought that up, but it's like, what do you want me to do? I treat every fucking company the same and every world champion the same. Did we talk about Hiroki Goto and how he helped and his business when they put the title on him? Did we talk about that? Of course we did. This is what we do. This is part of it. And sometimes people hear things they don't want to hear about their faves. I can't control. I can only tell you what I'm seeing. So, I don't even want to, it's whatever. People think people are going to hear what they hear. They're going to hear what they hear. Not once have I ever even made a prediction. Not one time. Pull me up making a prediction that this thing's not going to turn around. Pull me up making a prediction that this thing isn't going to turn around. And I'll quit. Because I haven't done that. I'm just looking for signs of when it's coming.
Yeah,
as far as that goes.
This isn't Eric Bischoff over here, strictly business. AEW is failing, and they're gonna be off TV in 3 weeks. That's not what we're talking about. But anyway, that's that. So that was the Dynamite rating and Thursday Dynamite review again behind the paywall. Flagship patreon.com, $5 tier for that. Speaking of, if you're wondering, these guys are going to talk SummerSlam at some point, right? No, we are not going to talk SummerSlam because we already did that over the weekend. Instant Reaction Live, $10 tier. Flagshippatreon.com. We did that on Sunday night. Sunday night, we covered both the Saturday and the Sunday SummerSlam. So if you want to listen to an extensive review, about 2.5 hours or so, 2 hours plus, somewhere around there. I forget exactly where the runtime was, but we talked a lot about the Saturday show and then a lot about the Sunday show. Talked about Brock Lesnar's return, talked about WWE getting rid of press conferences and how much of a shame it is that wrestling media had access to the two top guys in both wrestling companies, and we fucking fumbled it, and it's ruined, and it's never going to go back to where it was again. So, yeah, that was it. So it was not just a SummerSlam. We didn't go match by match and go over the moves and tell you if a match was good or not. We went deep into a lot of other stuff going on in WWE as well. That's on the Instant Reaction Live. If you want to go back in the archives, flagshippatreon.com, $10 tier for that.
Hey, maybe I should read some of my DMs and private messages and text messages from 2023 when I was burying MJF harder than I have ever buried another wrestler in the history of the show.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Maybe I should read some of those. if people think this is a Hangman thing. Who could I possibly have buried harder than I buried MJF and the Brochachos in 2023?
Not yet.
And I like MJF. I like MJF a lot. I think MJF is still on pace to be an all-time great in this business. Did I hold back then? Did I use kid gloves then? Or did I just come on here and did I come on that review every week and tell you exactly what I was seeing and exactly how it was affecting business? To the point I nearly quit doing the reviews, number one. And to the point where basically that company stopped talking to me.
I was going to say we lost all of our access to the company that we once had.
So please. It's a bunch of nonsense. Yeah. I'm not afraid to run anybody off. Believe me.
Yeah, we've been on this show. We were talking MJF. We were singing MJF's praises back. When did you first see him? I think I first saw him in 2017 or so.
We were the first show to talk about Maxwell Jacob Feinstein. We were the first show to talk about MJF and put him over and say this is the guy. This is the guy.
Yeah, I want to say 2016 or so. You had first seen him, and I first saw him in 2017. So yeah, it was very early. We were on board with MJF. So yeah,
but 2023 was what it was, man.
Got to call it like you see it. Yeah, got to call it.
That was what it was.
We buried John Moxley in the fall of 2024 too. I mean, let's be honest, it's the same thing.
Yes.
It's a guy I like a lot. I like John Moxley a lot. As a human and as a wrestler.
And he liked us at one point.
He did used to like us. I don't know if he likes us anymore. But
that may have been the end of that. But listen, I have to say what I have to say. I have to tell it like it is. The Death Rider stunk at the start. What do you want me to say? So I don't know. I don't even feel like I'm burying the guy. I don't even feel like I'm doing that.
Just talking facts.
I haven't even been hard on him at all.
As one of their faves would say, "Tell me when I'm telling lies." So
but what have I even said that's like inaccurate or inflammatory? I'm just saying I am saying I'm waiting for this to catch fire because I think it will. How's that an insult? I don't even know how that's an insult.
Yeah, just anyway, what people do this a lot, and it's not just this topic.
Hear what they want to hear.
Well, they hear what they want to hear, but they also they celebrate too early, and it's like just wait till it's actually like worth celebrating. You know what I mean? Like you might look even if you're like, oh yeah, here we go, and it's like just wait. Like there might be maybe they get to 1 million viewers again, and then you could really celebrate. Then you could really say, hell yeah, wow, that's a hell of a business move there. Or maybe they start selling out 5,000 tickets. You start celebrating. Hey, they had 100 people walk up to Cleveland. They got to 3,000. All right. And it's like, hold on. That's not that much of an accomplishment. Like, let's wait a little bit. Let's wait. There might be a time pretty soon where you can celebrate.
The one big thing I've learned from doing this show for so many years, okay, is you do not dig your heels in. You must remain flexible. If I come on that Dynamite review every week and I come on this show every week and just tell people what I see and where the trends are going, they can never rub anything in your face. What are you going to tell me about this Cleveland attendance that can dispute what I'm saying? Nothing. It was a shit attendance. And if next week, where they're promising a Hangman MJF face-to-face, the show does 800,000 viewers in a 0.2, and the segment does a 0.23, I'm going to come on the show and tell you that what it did and what a massive success it is. And I'm going to say, here we go. Here's what I was waiting for to happen. And now it's happening. And then what can you say to me? Nothing. Where you get in trouble doing this, Rich, is when you dig your heels in.
Yeah.
And you commit yourself to some opinion.
I have to keep this opinion no matter what.
And I have to defend. Right.
Yeah.
And that's no way to do this.
That's when you end up being Eric Bischoff saying, AEW is falling apart and dying. And it's like, shut up. They just signed a new TV deal. You're a fraud. Go away.
Yeah, things change. All right, you want to do this WWE deal?
Yeah, I think it's important to do that. So, yeah, again, SummerSlam, if you want the review and recap of SummerSlam, that is on Instant Reaction Live, $10 tier. So, the WWE deal with ESPN. So, I did a breaking news audio when this emerged on Wednesday, right? That was just yesterday. My God, it's been a long 24 hours, to tell you that. Yesterday, did a breaking news audio when the deal was announced first. I did a little follow-up as well. All this is available at flagshippatreon.com. By the way, if you want to listen to that breaking news audio and if you want to see the write-up that I did. Just trying to answer some questions, try to give some people some clarity on what's going on with this deal. And I'm glad that now we're doing this flagship here with, 24 hours after the news came out, because now we have a little bit more clarity on some of the points and some of the key figures and all that sort of stuff. So where do you want to start with this? Do you want me to kind of run down all the nuts and bolts of this deal, or do you think we should just trust that most people listening to this know at this point?
I think a brief rundown. You can never take for granted that people are locked into the news the way that we are. So go ahead and run it down.
I'll do the brief rundown, and then we'll get into the minutia of it all. So, all right, what's happening is ESPN is launching a new direct-to-consumer streaming service starting August 21st. Now, this is not ESPN Plus. This is a different thing altogether. This is ESPN basically saying we are going to put everything that we do on every one of our ESPN channels, ESPN 1, ESPN 2, ESPNU, all the other the big, the ACC network, the SEC network, ESPN Deportes, ESPN News, all this shit. Everything that we do when we're on ABC, when we're on ESPN and ABC, all that is going to be available on this streaming service. ESPN Plus, you were restricted about a lot of that. You couldn't watch this show or that thing because it was on blackout or whatever. That's ESPN's new direct-to-consumer thing, is basically a one-to-one replication of everything that's going to be on ESPN proper. So you subscribe to this ESPN thing, which is called ESPN, which is going to be a little confusing, but they had a different name for it, and I'm glad they didn't go
Flagship.
with that name. Yeah, thank God they didn't go with that name.
Are they not going with that?
They're not going with Flagship. They're just calling it ESPN because they want you to just think of it as you're subscribing to ESPN on cable, which makes sense, and that's the easiest way to think about it.
Hold on, now we can't sue them now.
No, we cannot. Yeah,
I would call off the lawyer.
Maybe keep him on retainer, but I would say tell him to maybe put it off on the back burner a little bit. Maybe keep him on retainer though. Might not be a bad idea. Anyway, so no, it is not called Flagship. It is just going to be called ESPN. So that's what that is. So it's going to be a direct-to-consumer thing. You're going to subscribe to it, and you're going to be able to get all of ESPN. Now, what this basically is, and this is why we have to explain this first, and then the WWE aspect of this, I think, is important. Now, what this is really ESPN saying, we understand it's 2025 and cord cutting is going to continue and more people are going to cut the cord, and cable, which we still value a ton, and there is still a ton of value in cable, but we understand that there are more and more people that are going to be cutting the cord every single year. But one of the biggest hangups for a lot of people to not cut the cord, and it's a big reason why I will never or have no plans on doing it anytime soon, I know you as well, is that if you're a sports fan, it has not been advantageous just yet to cut the cord. If you don't care about sports, it's pretty easy. It's not too bad to cut the cord. If you care about sports, it's very difficult. It's very annoying. It's cumbersome. You got to have all these different services and blackouts and VPNs and all this sort of stuff. So a lot of people that are sports fans just say, fuck it, I'm going to keep the cable. What this is ESPN saying, if you want to cut the cord, if that is your goal, then you are still going to get all of your ESPN. You do not need to worry anymore about not being able to get our sports and what we're airing in the NFL and NBA and college football and college basketball and stuff. You want to watch all that? You want to watch SportsCenter and all that sort of stuff? Don't worry about it. We are still going to have that for you, even if you cut the cord. And that wasn't always a promise with ESPN Plus, and wasn't always a promise with all these other different networks. And if you're a YouTube TV or a Sling or whatever the fuck, this makes it a lot easier. So you get to ESPN, you subscribe to it, you get all of it. So that's the ESPN streaming service. They then announced, because they're launching a brand new service, and WWE, of course, always has the perfect timing for all these fucking things. Every single time, the perfect goddamn timing. Peacock is desperate in 2021 or 2020 when the Olympics get canceled because of COVID. And here's WWE saying, hey, we have a lot of content. You want to give us a lot of money for our content? And Peacock says, yeah, we're desperate to put anything on Peacock. We'll take it. Now, ESPN is desperate to find content for their new streaming service. And here comes WWE with a bunch of content for them. So ESPN is going to pay WWE an average of $325 million per year for 5 years. Now, that is the figure that's been out there. An average of $325 million per year for 5 years. And that is going to be for their premium live events package, is what they're calling it. So that is all of your major shows, your WrestleManias, your Royal Rumbles, your Great Balls of Fires, your Backlash, all that. The premium live events are all going to be on ESPN. Now, as far as we know, that's it so far. It's 10 shows, quote unquote. The 10 also, and Nick Khan was on the Varsity podcast with John O'Rourke and kind of explained a little bit more. But he's counting the 10 as, WrestleMania and SummerSlam, he's just counting as one. But technically, you're going to get 2 shows both with those. And he was asked, well, will that number expand? He said anything is possible. So who knows?
Yeah. Everything's a negotiation.
Everything's a negotiation. You want us to add another PLE? We'll add another fucking PLE. You want us to add another day of Royal Rumble? We'll add another day of Royal Rumble. We don't care. We're content providers. We're a B2B content provider company now, basically, WWE. So you want us to put another show on? We'll put another show on. Just pay us money, is basically what they're saying. So right now, you subscribe to this ESPN thing. That is where you're going to be able to get all your quote-unquote premium live events moving forward. Your WrestleManias, your Royal Rumbles, your SummerSlams. All that begins in early 2026. I think the Peacock deal runs out somewhere in March 2026.
The way they structure these is for whenever there's a new one, it starts with WrestleMania.
Right.
Which is very
WWE
smart.
Network started with WrestleMania, and it's exactly.
That's the smart play. It's the right way to do it because then you get it off on a great start. All right, so my impression of this so far, and it's changing and shifting by the day and in some ways by the hour. I think this is a great deal for WWE to get on the worldwide leader, to get on ESPN, the most high-profile cable network that there is. Powerful. You're in with Disney, ESPN. Has been the dream of wrestling companies since I've been following this. You want to be on ESPN, and now they are. And you get everything that comes with that. On top of being exposed to over the 70 million households that receive ESPN on their cable packages, and the 25 million people who are currently subscribed to ESPN Plus, you have to think that a large percentage of if you were subscribed to ESPN Plus, you're more than likely going to switch over to this new thing. Right?
They're going to bring you over, but the idea is like
it's going to cost more,
upgrade.
so some people will. Yeah,
right.
It's more expensive, so there will be some people who will fall off. But a large percentage, if you're on ESPN Plus, chances are you're going to convert to this new thing. Why wouldn't you? Okay, because you want the ESPN content. So you're talking about roughly 100 million households thereabouts that have access to ESPN content. So WWE getting on ESPN, and by the way, not just the exposure, but the power behind it. They'll get segments on SportsCenter. They'll get plugged during Monday Night Football. They'll get plugged during big NBA games. They'll get plugged during all these major sporting events. They'll have a presence on the network. It'll be the same that you've seen with UFC. ESPN barely covered UFC, if at all, before they were in a business relationship with them. Once they got in bed with UFC is all over ESPN. With events all the time, coverage, SportsCenter coverage, all of that. WWE is going to get the same treatment. Just because it's a work sport, I mean, they already get coverage on ESPN.
They don't care anymore. Your grandfather's ESPN is dead and gone. That they don't give a fuck anymore covering a work sport. That's not a problem for them.
So this is a major, major win and an incredible deal that they cut here to get into business with ESPN. I think it's going to be eventually a major win with the wrestling fan because, as noted, 70 million households already have access to ESPN. You're not going to find a stronger cable network. You're not going to find a cable network with more crossover in terms of people who watch ESPN that are also wrestling fans. It's a match made in heaven from that standpoint. Plus the 20 to 25 million people who have ESPN Plus, they're going to retain, let's estimate low end, even if they retain 60% of those 25 million, right? So, that's another massive chunk of households. And although as of today, okay, only a portion of those 70 million households are going to have free access to this service.
Let's put a pin in that because I think that's a big
I'll
story
talk about
that sort
it right
of
now.
changed.
There's only about 5 carriers. It's DirecTV, Charter. I forget the others.
I got the list for you right here.
Read it off.
Give me 1 sec here. So now this was an initial thing when they initially announced this, and this I do have some question about this because, and I wrote about this in the piece, is when they announced on ESPN Front Row, which is like their press release hub or whatever, they said there was an article called 5 Things Fans Should Know About ESPN's new direct-to-consumer offering. And in that it says, quote, in addition to ESPN direct-to-consumer subscribers, fans that access ESPN through a traditional pay TV provider such as Comcast, DirecTV, Hulu, YouTube TV, etc., will have access to the new features through the enhanced ESPN app. Now, that changes, though, because Brandon Thurston and a few other people reported.
Hold on. Let me just explain this further.
Yeah.
In other words, if you have cable or satellite and you have ESPN as part of your package, which if you have cable or satellite, you have ESPN as part of your package. That means you get this new service for free, which means you get the WWE pay-per-views for free.
All right, you just sign in, you say, hey, I have an active cable subscription, and then, you're in.
That's right. The same way you do with, for instance, I've never paid for HBO or Max
Same.
because I get it through my HBO subscription.
Right.
So when you log into your new Fire Stick or your new smart TV, whatever device, your phone, you put in your authorization from your cable carrier and you just get it for free. That's how this service is going to work for now, these 5 or 6 cable carriers. But go ahead and say what Brandon reported.
So Brandon reported on his WrestleNomics Patreon, quote, according to a person familiar with the agreement, only customers of the following providers will be granted access to the PLEs through the ESPN app at no additional cost. Charter/Spectrum, DirecTV, Fubo TV, Hulu Live TV, and Verizon Fios are the only ones right now. So that leaves out Comcast Xfinity, Cox, YouTube TV, Dish, Sling, Frontier, and many, many more as well. So basically estimated at 50% of cable subscribers, current cable subscribers, are not included in that list above, the Charter, DirecTV, Fubo, Hulu, Verizon.
So you can take those 70 million households and cut them in about half. About half of those 70 million households as of today will have free access to this new streaming service. The 25 million ESPN Plus subscribers, we're assuming, are just going to convert over, so they're going to keep most, if not all of them. But they're, as of now, only half of those 70 million households are going to have the free access to this new service. The others would still have to pay the $30 that everybody else is going to have to pay if they want to subscribe to this thing. But Dave Meltzer reported earlier today that this is constantly in flux, and it's just a matter of negotiating with these other cable companies to get that done.
Yeah, but if you follow cable TV and sports negotiations with cable companies and networks, not always the most smooth thing. You know, the fact that they're not initially on that list means that there's going to be a lot of push and pull between these. So
I read it more as the deal is brand new. They just closed it the other day. And I would think that most, if not all, those major carriers are going to end up being on board with this because they don't have any leverage. That's the thing about cable and satellite. They've thrown in the towel and they know they don't have leverage in these things. So why, if you are one of those, if you're Dish, who currently aren't on the list, when your customers start calling you, the customers you have left start calling you and saying, why don't I have access? I have ESPN. Why don't I have access to this ESPN streaming service? And they say to you, my neighbor has DirecTV. He gets it for free. What do you think Dish is going to do?
Yeah.
They're not going to tell you to go fuck off. They're going to cut the deal.
Yeah, there was a time where they would do that. And that would happen often. You would get those, if people didn't live through this during, the peak of cable, you'd be watching your channel, and hey, they happened to WWE a lot. Remember, WWE would break in, and Jim Ross would be like, well, if you're a member of, you subscribe to Charter, they're taking USA off your cable, so let them know, call this number, or whatever. Or, yeah, that channel would break in with, hey, DirecTV customers, call this number, because DirecTV doesn't want to get, want to do the deal with us, but you don't want to lose this and this and this or whatever. So that was a common thing, and usually they would last like a day or two, or they would get right down to the wire, and they would negotiate. Now, some of these things took a little bit longer. I just lived through that in Chicago, obviously, with the brand new Chicago Sports Network, and Xfinity just basically said, well, we don't give a fuck, great. Give us a good deal, but we don't really want to carry your shit. We don't want to put a bunch of extra money on our people's bills. But when you're ESPN, you probably have a little bit more leverage, like you said.
Yeah, and I just, that's why I say it's a great deal for WWE, and I think overall for wrestling fans, it's a great deal because so many people already have access to ESPN, and a large chunk of those people right from the jump are going to have, who were paying for Peacock previously, are now going to be getting these pay-per-views for free. A certain percentage of them right off the bat, right? You can drop Peacock if that's all you were watching it for, and if you have access to ESPN and you're part of this increasing number of cable companies that are going to be part of this, where you get it for free, you're now paying $0 for WWE pay-per-views. It's baked into your cable bill. The same way that HBO Max has been baked into mine and yours for all these years now, and we've never paid for it. So long term, I think when they add the rest of these cable companies, this is a much, much better deal if you're a wrestling fan. The only people it will burn is that small percentage of people who have no access to ESPN, and instead of paying Peacock $11.99 or whatever, they now have to pay ESPN $29.99. Those people get fucked.
Yeah.
But I think that's the smallest percentage of people. I think for the vast majority of wrestling fans, they're going to come out ahead here. And they might not come out ahead right away. if you have one of these cable companies that aren't, but eventually I think most of them are going to be part of this. But if you're one of these 5 or 6 that are already part of it, you can dump Peacock and now you get free WWE pay-per-views versus paying Peacock for them. So now, as far as for ESPN, the jury will be out if this is a good deal for Disney. Most of these deals with WWE don't turn out to be good deals. Fox didn't turn out to be a good deal.
Most streaming deals don't end up being good, but especially all these WWE deals have not worked out very well.
It didn't work out for Fox. If it worked out for Peacock, they would have renewed. So they got out of this pay-per-view business and didn't want to pay the price that Disney wanted to pay. So the jury will be out if it'll help ESPN. As you know, Rich, and you can expand on this, these streamers are so desperate for content that they overpay for it. Mm-hmm. And then you turn around, you're losing billions. And then what's the response? They raise their prices. If you haven't checked your bill to see how much Netflix or Peacock costs lately, I recommend you do so. You'll get some sticker shock. If you've got these things on auto pay, okay, you might have some sticker shock.
Yeah, if you don't check your email, very often with the, hi, we hate to do this, but.
Right.
Which Peacock just sent one around yesterday, I want to say to everybody.
Yeah, or 2 days ago, yeah. So they react in 2 ways. They raise the price because $9, $10, $15 is just not fucking sustainable for these streamers to make money. They're losing billions.
Whatever the entry level money, whatever, like these ESPN deals, the same deal. It's $29.99. I can promise you within a year that shit's going to be $35 or $40.
Wasn't the talk that they wanted to do 50? But then said, no, we better bring it down for the rollout. I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah, because that Venue, if you remember when they were going to do that Venue thing, I forget what the reported price of Venue was, but I think it was going to be $49.99 or $60 or whatever. And that's a big reason why everybody left the table. Because the Venue, so if people don't know about Venue, that was supposed to be a combination of Fox, ESPN, and I want to say Warner, right? All their sports properties. Hey, let's make a streamer that's just our sports properties, and we'll make it all. But we're going to charge $60 or whatever. And everybody was like, fuck that, no. And ESPN was like, you know what, we're going to do our own thing. We're out anyway. And Fox has their own thing that they just launched a couple days ago, Fox One or whatever. So so they're good. WBD's kind of has Max, sort of. They can't figure out what the fuck they're ever doing. None of these guys know what the fuck they're doing. It's a complete fucking disaster, and everyone's losing money.
They're all losing billions, so the response is either to raise prices or look for a merger.
Yeah.
Well, let's merge with these guys, and let's merge with the. That's what'll happen eventually, probably. They're all trying to solve the sports problem. If they figure out a way to solve the sports problem, that will be the day that cable dies. But they have not figured out how to solve the sport. And they thought Venue was the answer. And it was a disastrous attempt, and it never even got off the ground. They need to solve the sports problem. And maybe ESPN breaking off into their own thing will help get the ball rolling in solving the sports problem. But $30 is a high price point. It's a high price point. So if ESPN really wanted to take a gamble, they could cut ties with all these cable companies and force everyone to pay to $30. But, at that point, I don't think people would. Why would you not just, it's almost like they have to offer it as part of the package. I wouldn't pay $30 for that if I already have access to ESPN. Why would I pay for that? It doesn't make any sense. That's also why I think all these other cable companies eventually are going to get on board. Because their customers aren't going to pay to $30 anyway. What does ESPN have to lose to just give them access to it? So, so we'll see. I mean,
ESPN just wants you on board. ESPN just wants you on board and getting familiar with the app, and they don't really give a fuck if you pay $0 or you pay, because they're just going to lose shit tons of money for a couple of years.
They want your eyeballs.
Then they're going to say, okay, now we have to figure out a way to make money. And then nobody has an answer to that. Yeah, nobody has an answer for that part. It's get as many people in, get as many people watching, get as many people signed up. Peacock, how many years were you able to get Peacock for $1 or whatever? It was free or whatever. WWE Network, Jesus Christ, think about how many free months they gave everybody, except for you and I. We were day one subscribers. We never got one of those free fucking months or whatever. But no, it's always free. Get you in, sign up. And then, okay, now what? Now how do we make money? We'll raise prices. We'll do this. We'll do that. And they never fucking
and none of them ever make money.
Right. No one's figured that out just yet.
And Fox is going to roll out their thing now with it's the same as the ESPN one. It's
Fox
going to
have Fox One.
It's going to have all of their networks. And it's going to have all of the wherever you live, your local Fox as well, your local Fox affiliate, and all of the Fox Sports, everything. And that one's going to be what, $20, $30, whatever they're charging for that. So, it starts to get to the point where
Fox One's $20 a month, but $20
a month,
$19.99. So.
Yeah, so you're paying, if you're a cord cutter, and you're paying $30 to get all the ESPNs, you're paying $20 to get all the Fox, and then you're paying whatever Max costs. What does Max cost?
I don't know. I never pay for it. What is Max? Let me see what the
15, 20. I don't know what Max costs.
I guess I technically pay for it. The basic with ads plan is $9.99 a month. Standard ad free is $16.99, and premium ad free is $29.
All right, so let's
$20.99. Sorry, $20.99.
Let's middle it and call it 15. I don't know why you want to watch your HBO movies with commercials, but let's middle it at the 15. That's okay. So if you're a cord cutter, but you want ESPN family of networks, Fox family of networks, and the WBD family of networks, which are essentially all of the most popular networks on cable, it's now costing you at least $65 a month. At that point, a lot of people are going to go, I'm just going to fucking stay with cable or go back to cable because I'm going to get all of those networks plus everything else and pay maybe the same or a little bit more. These streamers are going to eat their own tail. They're actually so bad at this
that they're very bad at it.
That they're leaving the door open for cable to survive. That's how bad they are at this. That they are leaving the door open for cable to survive when they should have snuffed out that fire years ago. But they can't do it because they can't figure out a way to truly give you value while also making any money. They can't have both. You either have to spend the same that you were spending on cable, or you have, or they're going to lose money. The only people who cut the cord and win are people that don't watch a lot of stuff. If you're someone who doesn't watch a lot of stuff and you don't care about sports, you can win cutting cable.
Yeah,
because all you need is a Netflix subscription and maybe one other.
Yeah, my in-laws are a great example. They don't watch sports at all, and they were asking me about doing it, and I was like, yeah, do it. I mean, why would you not? I mean, just watch stuff on. And they just watch stuff on Roku channel, or they have rabbit ears. They just watch broadcast TV or the Roku channel.
Yeah, someone
and
like that can
cut. You know what I mean? And they're fine.
Cable.
They spend $15 a month now, and they're fine. They're good. They don't care about sports. They don't give a shit. And but they're like, you want to do that? I'm like, I really can't right now. I mean, there's no
watch
point.
Too much stuff.
Yeah, I watch too much stuff.
Yeah. People who have a lot of interest and watch a lot of things, it's come full circle, and you're better off keeping cable. These streamers are just keep stepping on their own dicks. And
with a worse experience too. By the way, it's a much worse experience to watch stuff on streaming. I know we sound like old men here, but it's like the idea of watching sports on streaming. Like when I watch sports, I like to bounce around. Halftime, I like to get out. Quarter breaks. Moving from channel to channel, from app to app is still impossible. The ads are still very intrusive. Which, by the way, we'll put a pin in that. We'll talk about that in a sec. What ESPN's already kind of teasing about this thing. And WWE's been about in-match ads or whatever. If you don't think we're going to break in between, if you don't think on Royal Rumble we're gonna take a break in the middle of a match and go to an ad, you're fucking out of your mind. That's coming. It's not going to be after the match like it is right now in Peacock. It's going to be during the match too.
Yeah, and just on a Saturday afternoon, flipping around watching college football, the flipping around problem is what you were about to talk about. You can't. It's so much. It's annoying. It's a first world problem, but it's just you got to switch. Which app is this game on? It's just a pain in the ass.
Right.
If you're a sports fan,
you want to avoid ads? You can't. I mean, with cable, you got to be ready to go and flip around and stuff, but you can mostly avoid ads if you want.
Yeah, but the point is with cable, every game is on my cable. And I could set it, all right, commercial here. I'm going to go watch Notre Dame on. If you're streaming everything, you have to switch your apps. Remember what app each game is on. It's such a fucking hassle.
They got you. Again, so you just stay there and watch the ads, and that's exactly what they want.
They have to solve the sports problem. If they solve that, and I don't know how, DirecTV came up with I don't know what they call it, but they came up with a technology that allegedly seamlessly switches between the apps.
I saw that.
DirecTV.
Yeah.
I don't know I've been asking people I know. No one I know has it because I want to know the functionality of it. Wouldn't it be something if a cable satellite company figured out the sports problem before the streamers themselves did.
Well, I noticed my Xfinity has that now, where if I go to look at, like, so they have it all broken down. You go watch, the categories. You can go to sports or whatever. So what they've started doing with that is they've been doing these different, like the Locked On Sports Network or any of these streamers. Now I can watch that stuff. Now it'll automatically go to like some dude's YouTube channel through my Xfinity. And it just treats it like a normal channel too.
Right.
So if I want to watch, Locked On Bulls or whatever the fuck, or we have CHGO, which is like a local thing here that it's just they cover Chicago sports or whatever. But they're just a YouTube channel. They're just a bunch of dudes that do a YouTube channel. That's now available on my system, so I can watch like a podcast on the CHGO, and and then it's treated as a normal channel now. It's just channel 2819 or whatever. It's way down the dial or whatever. But I can flip between that and a game.
And I assume that's similar to the DirecTV
I think that's
technology.
what they're trying. And now they haven't done it. I haven't seen it with like major games yet. I haven't seen it with like ESPN Plus stuff or whatever. But I think what they're doing, they're probably testing it out a little bit with this.
So if the cable companies have figured out this tech to do this, right? Sports fans are going to really like that because they're like, oh, instead of using my Fire Stick where I have to switch apps to switch games, I could just so I'm going to keep my DirecTV. I'm going to keep my, what do you have, Comcast?
I have Comcast,
I'm going to keep my Comcast because what the streamers need to do to combat that is get with the television manufacturers who are producing these smart TVs and get the technology up to speed on the smart TVs where you can do the same thing through your TV.
They want ads though. The thing that they want, the only way they're going to make any money is that when you start up the app and you start up whatever show you're going to watch, you get the minute full of apps or the minute full of ads or whatever, and then they don't want you to switch. They want you to sit there and go, all right, now in the middle of your show at the worst possible time, here's 2 more minutes of ads. Like, have you ever used Hulu? It's like the worst fucking experience ever.
Awful.
It's in the worst spots too. And sometimes they'll do 2 minutes of ads. You'll go back to your show and the show will go on for 10 seconds and it goes back to the ads and you're like, no, I don't want 2 more minutes of ads. Fuck. Like, I just got done. There's no idea. It's the same ads over and over again. Like, they haven't solved that problem yet because they haven't solved the money problem yet of how we fucking make money on any of this shit because they don't make it from subscriptions. They don't. And that's why people saying, well, I don't see how ESPN is going to make any money from subscriptions on this. They're not. They don't think they are. That's not the plan. The plan is never to make money in the short term. The plan is to acquire data, acquire users, acquire people, and then question mark on whenever we make money. But at some point we'll make money. We don't know when because only really Netflix has figured out how to make money. The rest of us are just fucking spinning around with no idea what we're doing. So it's interesting. It's fascinating. So I don't know that the streamers want to solve the problem is the issue. But they should.
True. Well, solving the sports problem is going to solve all their problems.
Yeah.
Everyone will drop cable at that point. Most of the cable holdouts, aside from people who are really old, who are just set in their ways, are people who can't let go of it because of sports. My hand is raised. I can't get rid of cable. That's preposterous. It will completely change
it's the
everything.
Easiest way to watch sports, yeah.
Yeah, it would change my entire life for deeply in a deeply negative way. All I do is sit here and watch sports. We just talked about that in the first hour. So it's like they got to figure that out. It's crazy, but that's the one. And they know that's their biggest barrier,
of course.
But so the jury will be out on whether this ends up being a good deal for ESPN. Chances are it won't be, but this is great for WWE. And even the facet of the story where it's like, all right, select events will air on ESPN.
On ESPN proper, yeah, which is huge. That if people don't think that is when I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, that's massive.
This is where Tony Khan should absolutely be shitting down his leg right now.
Yeah.
Because now there's been an adjustment to that. I don't know if you saw the update where it wouldn't be full pay-per-views, it'd be maybe an hour. And then now if you want to see the rest, pay the $30.
Got it. Okay. I thought so my interpretation was that fuck it, we have nothing this weekend. WrestleMania is just on ESPN.
Yeah, see, this story is going to constantly shift and change. That's why I said at the top, it's changing by the day, it's changing by the hour. But now the reports are it would be like an hour of a pay-per-view would air on ESPN.
So kind of a
ESPN2.
teaser, okay, like a little Barker channel.
Yeah, and every 10
okay.
minutes, Michael Cole is going to be telling you to go buy the streamer so you can watch the rest of the show. Now, if they're willing to sacrifice a couple of these on TV, though, they can really fuck with AEW shit in a major, major way because we know how much WWE programming cannibalizes the AEW programming whenever they're head-to-head. I mean, there's a reason that Tony Khan and WBD run Collision on Thursdays when there's a WWE event on Saturdays, because it has completely decimated them from day one. Even when AEW was much hotter, that was the case. So this is like just next level thinking from WWE. First of all, they haven't sold this doesn't involve NXT. It doesn't involve AAA. It doesn't involve whatever the fuck is going on with TNA, which they don't own TNA, but they're the puppet master.
They appear to be negotiating in some way, shape, or form for them or with them or whatever, yeah.
Right, to get them a streaming deal, which, by the way, is rumored to be about $10 million, the number I placed on it last week. You know, Quasimodo over here. So what they're doing is they have business relationships with Disney, with NBC Universal, with CW, with how many am I forgetting? Netflix, with whoever they cut a deal with for the NXT pay-per-views, with whoever they cut a deal with for AAA. And if you don't think part of the strategy is to diversify and get into business deals with as many media entities as possible to block AEW from getting ROH or from their next television deal, limiting the number of people that they have to negotiate with, so WBD has Tony by the balls, or for another wrestling promotion to try to enter the fray. This is all part of the plan, because they cut these deals and they get exclusivity, and then you're boxed out. So where does Tony Khan have to turn to do business with? When WWE, that's part of their plan of acquiring AAA and potentially acquiring TNA, on top of suppressing salary and on top of controlling the industry the way they used to, all of those reasons as well. It's also to diversify their reach in the media landscape to box out Tony Khan.
Right, and that's why people were wondering why they didn't go with Netflix. And from all reports, Netflix was in the bidding. And I forget if it was Mark Shapiro that said it or Ari Emanuel or one of these WWE guys. I forget what he said, but he was like, yeah, we there were offers that were for more dollar figures, but we really emphasized the diversification or whatever. And everybody kind of leads that to believe that it was probably Netflix had a more, substantial offer to just put everything all under one roof, but that they took this ESPN deal for maybe less money. Now, however much less money that is might not be, whatever. But the idea of being, we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket, which is a good idea no matter what, because Netflix can just wake up one day and say, we're done with this stuff and we're good and we're going to switch or whatever, or something goes wrong with Netflix. But like you said, the bigger thing is you diversify because it blocks out your competition. Yep. Now, you can't negotiate with Netflix. You can't negotiate with ESPN. You can't negotiate with the CW. You can't negotiate with it adds up. It adds up and it adds up and it adds up. And that's why they're not done with NBC Universal either. Like, that's the thing too. People thinking, Peacock can move. No. SmackDown is still on USA Network. SmackDown's still on Peacock.
And the archive is still there for now.
Yeah, the archive is still there for now. Saturday Night's Main Event for now is still on NBC and it's still on Peacock. So that's another one. So if you're Tony, you have WBD and you have Fox are basically the only big hitters left that you can really truly negotiate, unless I'm missing
maybe a streamer we're not thinking of, but all of those are tied to these media conglomerates for the most part as well.
Yeah, there's only a couple media conglomerates out there. You know what I mean? Like, they're all ABC, Disney, ESPN. That's all one thing, so that's out. Netflix obviously is their thing. ESPN is got a wide range of stuff as well. ABC, so that's out. NBC Universal has a wide range of stuff. That's for now essentially out. So yeah, you're WBD or Fox basically. Amazon, I guess. Amazon you could include, because Amazon hasn't done anything yet with wrestling so far. So.
Right. So there's a couple we're probably missing. But again, WWE still has assets to sell. The library, NXT pay-per-views, AAA. Yeah. There's three right there, right, where they can continue to spread this stuff out. So who knows? Again, Nick Khan is the best hire Vince McMahon ever made. I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care if you don't like hearing that. Every time people complain when I say it, he is the best hire Vince McMahon ever made, especially post Hulk Hogan. There's no argument. I mean, the guy just knows the moves to make 3 steps ahead of everybody else, and he has the contacts to get these deals done because he hobnobs with everybody, and he got it done again. It's a great deal for the company. Probably not so much for ESPN at the end of the day. We'll see. These streamers just throw the money around. almost never works out. They just want stock. They want inventory.
They want users, people. CBS Paramount is another one too. We forgot to mention, so that is still open.
Yeah, but again, we'll see where all this stuff lands.
Right.
You know, you have Nick Khan and Paul Levesque and Mark Shapiro walk in a room.
Ari Emanuel. Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, and Mark Shapiro walk into a room.
Again, no matter what you think of them.
Yeah.
And I don't think much of any of them.
I don't want to go to dinner with any of these guys. I don't want to hang out with any of these fucking
I don't
dudes.
think much of any of them. But no matter what you think of them, they walk in a room with their track records. Mark Shapiro used to run ESPN. Nick Khan is obviously a massive success in everything he's ever done. Paul Levesque, running WWE.
Ari Emanuel, have you ever watched the show Entourage? That's about him. Right.
And it's like they walk into a room with Amazon or CBS and they say, hey, we've got this great Spanish language, Latino property, pro wrestling. You know our track record with pro wrestling and combat sports. I mean, they're going to get that deal done.
Yeah.
You don't think they're going to get that deal done?
Oh, AAA will be somewhere for sure.
Come on. It's a layup. It's a layup.
TNA might be a little more. I'm a little more dubious on TNA, but I am not. AAA is going to be an easy one. AAA, you just say Latino audience. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, fine. Here,
we're going to and then sell them the world.
Here you go.
And then sell them the world. We're going to do for this what we did for WWE. You know, and you know, when you got that amount of firepower on the opposite end of the bargaining table,
big fucking balls, those big fucking balls coming in.
They're going to believe it.
Did you listen to the Nick Khan interview on the Varsity that I mentioned with Oran?
I did. Which, by the way,
just such a smug prick. It's like,
he
fuck,
really is.
God, I hate him.
And it's so funny because that was released the day, which means it was taped days before.
Oh yeah, it was released an hour after the news came out. Yeah,
and they even mentioned. Oran mentioned, he goes, oh, well, thank you, Chris Legento, for setting all this up.
Uh-huh.
These guys know what you don't have to like them. They know what the fuck they're doing. And this is what I last year when I went on that big rant, whatever audio it was, this is truly where Tony Khan is behind in the game. Because he has nobody. He has no infrastructure. He doesn't have a Chris Legento or a Nick Khan getting shit done because they're psychopaths who don't sleep and never not answer their phone.
Which was a great part. I was hoping you listened to that podcast because at the end, Nick Khan went on his usual rants about doesn't like when people say they're tired and ranted and raved about out-of-office email replies.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. How are you not able to answer someone's question was essentially his thought of if someone's emailing you, they have a question they need answered. How can you not be able to answer that? I don't believe in it. I don't understand it, essentially what he said, which is psychopath shit. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
And I'm sorry, but that's where Tony Khan is getting dog walked.
Yeah.
All of these AEW haters and this tribalism, they're focused on the wrong things. He's not getting dog walked in ratings. I mean, Dave Meltzer thinks more people are watching Dynamite than watching Raw in the U.S. And he might be right. They're doing a large percentage of WWE's ratings. They're making money in the wrestling bit. Where Tony Khan is getting dog walked is infrastructure and behind the scenes. And there's no excuse for it because he can afford anyone. That's AEW's biggest problem.
Yeah. Marketing, infrastructure, PR infrastructure.
And quite honestly, considering the sizable advantage that TKO has, they hold up remarkably well. It's almost a miracle how well AEW does. And he's getting dog walked on the business end as these guys just get their claws into every media entity in the country.
Right. With about 1/80th of the staff that TKO has and 1/4 of the leadership that they have because they pretty much have Tony Khan. Yeah.
And what's he doing to combat any of this? He's just booking his wrestling show and just hanging in there. It really is remarkable when you really think about it from that standpoint.
Yeah, it's a tremendous success. AEW is a massive, massive success in the light of what's going on.
Against all odds. Against every set of odds. TKO is a monster. TKO is a fucking monster. It's like an impossible fight. It's beyond David and Goliath. And here they are. And 3 years ago, they were nipping at Raw's heels. It really is remarkable. It's an indictment of Tony for not running a more a larger, more streamlined professional operation, but it's also a credit to Tony for somehow hanging in there while doing so.
Yeah. It's a credit to the quality of the shows is that, it despite all of that, people that like it and support it in a way that, because it's not, they don't have the built-in things, the built-in advantages that TKO has with 4 guys that walk into a room and close a fucking deal. You know what I mean? And 3, one of the biggest power agents of all time, one of the biggest network executives of all time, and then one of the biggest movers in Nick Khan. You know, I'm using Ari Emanuel as one of the biggest agents, but you could throw Nick Khan in that same boat too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2 of the biggest sports agents and 2 of the biggest, entertainment one of the best sports agents and one of the best, or sports media agents and one of the best, entertainment agents in the world walk into that room, and then a guy who is a longtime sports executive walks into that room. You know what I mean? That and then Paul's there too. But
yeah, Paul's there too.
Then Paul Levesque's there too. So,
but look how
and the 1997 King of the Ring is in there too. But
yeah, but we joke, but they've created sort of this cult of personality around
Correct.
Paul, where he is this Dana White like figure that is associated and attached to the success.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is deliberate. And we mock Paul all the time for putting himself front and center, but that's why they do that, and that's why he does that. On top of his massive ego, don't think that isn't part of it, but it's strategic as well. This is the guy. This is why all of this works, because he's a mastermind. The wrestlers themselves are just pieces that we can move around and lose them. It doesn't matter. We have Paul Levesque.
At no point, by the way, in that Nick Khan interview did he mention one person on that roster ever. He never mentioned one single human being. He didn't mention a Roman Reigns, a Seth Rollins, a CM Punk, a Gunther, not a one. Because that's he doesn't sell that. He sells content. Right. We have content. We make sports entertainment content for you. How much are you going to pay us? We'll give you content.
Well, you know who came up? Paul Levesque came up. Mark Shapiro came up.
Yep.
Chris Legento came up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of names got dropped, but none of them were Gunther. I'll tell you that. None of them were.
Yeah.
None of them were.
He might have mentioned
Seth
a couple.
Freaking Rollins. No, he didn't. I made a note of it. I don't think he did. I don't think because to him it's like who fucking cares? They're trinkets. They're fucking little. They're widgets. We create content, and they they'll help us create content, but they're not. We can fucking replace Seth freaking Rollins tomorrow. We don't care.
Oh God, it wouldn't make a lick of difference.
No, none of these guys. They're irrelevant to our content. They help us create this content, but we can create this content without them or with new people. We can put whoever we need. We're fine. We're good. Paul can manage that, and Paul manages it just fine.
Yeah, but circling back, if they have the ability to counter-program AEW pay-per-views or AEW TV with their own massive shows that will air on ESPN, Tony should be shitting his pants. There needs to be a counterattack here. It's not good news. It's actually a little scary for the wrestling industry because TKO keeps growing and getting more powerful. I'm not trying to doom if you don't like their brand of wrestling.
Nah, dude, Peacock is small fucking potatoes to ESPN. I mean, we're you know what I mean? NBC Universal Peacock. I mean, how many Peacock? It's like, 40 million?
ESPN's a monster. They're a monster.
How many subscribers are on Peacock? It's like 40 million or 35 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you just laid out there. ESPN most likely will have at least 70 million, but probably if you add the 30 million ESPN Plus, we could safely say, it's probably safely going to double what Peacock does right now.
And more accessible because it's in most people's houses, right on their TV, versus switching over to an app. Mm-hmm. So I mean, ESPN's a monster.
Well, and just the sports marketing muscle of ESPN is the big thing too. Yes, NBC is seen on more homes. Yes, NBC can, and you look at, because people are going to say, well, Saturday Night's Main Event isn't doing, they're doing. I'm telling you, with the muscle of ESPN and live broadcasts from Sports Center, from the site of WrestleMania, doing break-ins on Sports Center of WrestleMania, like that stuff all matters. ESPN.com matters. ESPN Digital matters. They're machines.
It's I mean, it's a huge win for WWE. I think that's indisputable. This is like the crown jewel media rights deal that wrestling companies have been trying to get forever.
Yeah, this is good on ESPN.
ESPN. With obviously a huge crossover between sports fans and wrestling fans. Lapsed fans and everything else. That's another factor. They're going to be reaching so many lapsed fans from people just sitting on their couch watching Sports Center. Fuck it. I'll give this wrestling a try. It's been a few years.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Andreas in the chat room, I think I'm pronouncing that right, brings it up perfectly about the impact that ESPN has. He says, quote, ESPN has 100% altered the perception of baseball and hockey in the United States. 100%.
They're a factor, yeah.
Why do you, if people don't know, MLB and ESPN signed a 7-year deal starting in 2021 to air MLB broadcasts on ESPN. March of this year, they had outs. Both sides said, we're done. MLB said, you treat us like shit. You do a horrible job of covering our game. We're out. And ESPN said, oh, good, because we think you suck and we want you to we don't want to pay you as much as we said we were going to pay you. We want to pay you less. And MLB's like, fuck off. We're done. So those sides are done. So they got out of that deal. And that's what Andreas is talking about there. ESPN has done such a horrible job of promoting baseball that baseball, which was America's fucking pastime, it's like the big it feels very irrelevant to the national scene. Like it's a localized game, obviously still very much so, but to the national scene, mostly because ESPN has just done a horrible job of promoting it and advertising it, talking about it or whatever. And hockey, the same deal. It's just like, yeah. So it's like, if they want to get muscle behind something like the NFL, I mean, ESPN is a big part of why the NFL is what it is. Oh, and by the way, guess who owns a portion of ESPN now?
10% of it, in fact.
Yeah.
The NFL. Suit makes a good point. The thing that Netflix was supposed to grow the product to, and they've softened this year, it comes down to the product itself. Otherwise, it's still the base audience. I agree with that to an extent. The difference between Netflix and ESPN is far more accessible from the standpoint of Netflix. Again, this might not sound like a big deal. You have to log into the app. You have to then search for Monday Night Raw to watch it. ESPN is just there.
It's ubiquitous. ESPN's ubiquitous for a lot of people.
So, yeah, Netflix has X amount of subscribers, a substantial amount. I subscribe to Netflix. Do you want to know how many times I've logged into Netflix in the last 30 days? Take a stab at it.
Probably once, maybe. Could be zero.
I think it was once to catch up on the Raws. Otherwise, I didn't log into Netflix once in the last month. And if it didn't have Raw, I wouldn't have logged in at all. I think a lot of people have these apps and they don't go into these apps. You don't go. Think of all the apps you have. How many are you going into every day? How many?
Oh, yeah.
Almost none of them.
Almost none. Yeah,
you
maybe one a day, maybe.
Now think about how many times you flip over to ESPN every day.
Unfortunately, too much.
Every day.
I hate ESPN, but unfortunately, too much.
So that's the difference, I think, between a Netflix and an ESPN. You could look at Netflix subscriber numbers.
Well,
people just have Netflix to have it.
Well, and it's a more captive audience, like you're pointing out.
That's right.
And I think people need to. I know there's a lot of people that say, "Well, I don't watch sports and I watch wrestling." Yeah, but the crossover is much larger. The majority of people that subscribe to Netflix don't give a fuck about wrestling. You know what I mean? Like the majority of people do not give a fuck. There's a lot of subscribers, but how many of them are there for documentaries? How many are there for sport, for comedies? How many? There's a lot of people. Netflix is a big giant pot of a bunch of different people all trying to watch different things or whatever. ESPN is all sports fans, dedicated sports fans, and that is a market that wrestling has always done well with. Always done well. One of the big groups of early AEW fans were sports fans. You know how we know? You and I covered this every single week when we talk about the ratings. A big-time game would be on, and guess what would decimate AEW's ratings? The game.
Yep.
If they were up against the World Series or a big basketball game or a big-time college basketball game, they would get decimated. Now, that doesn't happen as much anymore because I think they lost a lot of those sports fans. And now what affects AEW more than anything? It's WWE. It's a WWE event, which is...
Oh, yeah.
So they have more wrestling fans that watch AEW now. But for a while, when AEW first started, you could see way more sports fans in there.
Well, Dynamite still gets its ass kicked on a big sports night.
Yes. Yeah, but not to... Now, like, it used to be very obvious. It was just a big sports night that was cutting a lot into it. But to my point, though, it's just like that the sports fan is more likely to be a wrestling fan. Whether you watch sports or not, I'm just telling you what the data is that more likely than not, if you're a wrestling fan, you're also a sports fan.
Yeah, it is a great deal for them. We'll see. I think long term, it's going to end up being a huge net positive for wrestling fans. I think on the whole, wrestling fans are going to save money with this because the vast majority of them are going to get this service for free. and then there's going to be some that are going to end up paying the 20, but Peacock will be there soon anyway. I mean, they just raised their prices again this week. So it's not, and the hardcore WWE fan, they're going to pay that 20 anyway. They're not going to miss their pay.
Right. They're upset about it right now, but they will. Once WrestleMania is on there, these idiots they'll do it. They'll do it.
And as we discussed, I mean, at least to this point, Brock has been no factor in anything. There, just like we said last on the Instant Reaction Live, there were some articles in all the places that we said there would be articles, right? Awful Announcing, Deadspin, Defector, all the usual blogs had their articles chastising the company for doing this. There was other mainstream press as well questioning this decision. And what has it meant? Absolutely nothing. The next day they sign a $325 million deal with Disney. It does not matter. It will not matter. No. And that's a different discussion than should it matter. And we're not going to do the whole Brock segment that we did again behind the paywall. But it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter until their fans reject it wholesale. And by the reaction he got at SummerSlam, they're not rejecting it. They're embracing it. Or it gets up the ass of a sponsor. Those are the only two things that can stop Brock. Mm-hmm. Or derail their business if they're going to use Brock. Because if one sponsor gets annoyed and pulls out, the other sponsors feel pressured to do the same before people point fingers at them and say, oh, you're okay with sex trafficking then.
Right. Yeah, Slim Jim is why Vince McMahon is not in charge anymore. If Slim Jim didn't say we're out, Vince McMahon, I don't know for sure, but they may have not made the move when they made the move. They made the move because Slim Jim said we're out.
A more extreme example, but yes.
No, but I just mean like that's what it was. Like WWE wasn't going to get rid of him, but Slim Jim said, hey, we're out, and then they said, Vince, you got to go. We can't lose Slim Jim, and we can't possibly lose any other people after that.
Vince went out there on SmackDown and got a round of applause.
Yeah, of course.
So the Brock thing, if people are banking on that, I wouldn't bank on that at all.
I would certainly not bank on it.
Hasn't been a factor, and it won't be a factor. Again, I think, like I said on the Instant Reaction, whether it's right or not, and I don't think it is, he's too distanced from the actual physical abuse for him to matter. That's how people are going to view it. And I know that's going to make some people upset.
Oh, it sucks. Yeah, but that's exactly the reaction from anybody defending it was, well, I mean, what did he actually do? Or
what law did he break?
Her. Yeah.
He never even met her. I mean, so Brock hasn't been now I've seen some people opine that maybe the Dynamite increase this week was due to Brock. I don't buy that either.
No.
I don't think I don't think there's that many WWE fans who are so aghast and against Brock coming back that they've thrown in the towel on WWE and all decided to watch Dynamite this week. I don't buy that for 1 second. Maybe there should be, but there's not. But I don't think there is. So anyway, anything else on the ESPN deal?
Not much. Yeah, I mean, if anything else pops up, obviously we'll talk about it next week or talk about it as it updates. But for right now, I think we got a pretty good discussion there, and I think we hit most of the main points that I wanted to hit. So I got nothing else.
So I didn't watch All Japan. I can't. I don't know if you want to do a plus on that yourself or.
Yeah, let me do that. Maybe we'll do something like that, or I'll because it wasn't that important. So I don't think we need to break into that right now. So no, we'll skip.
And
All
I
Japan.
Can't contribute.
Yeah,
so
it's fine.
I just did. It's a little busy this week. I apologize, but I couldn't get to it. This G1's coming to an end though.
I have the. Oh, you want the match order for the upcoming show? Because I know you talked about that in your G1 review. How important that was.
Yeah, I was waiting for the match order. Let's hear that.
All right, so match order is Taichi versus Bolton is your first match of the night.
All right, hold on a second. This would be you're talking about the A block.
Yes.
All right, Taichi and Bolton. All right, so Taichi's going to beat him and knock him out.
Correct.
What's next?
Yeah, because Taichi's out already, right?
Yes, Taichi's
he's out. Okay, so he's out. So yeah, that makes sense. All right. Let me see if I got it all. Oiwa versus Sonata is your next match.
Oiwa's getting knocked out.
Yeah, Sonata will beat him.
All right, so now we got
hijinks will ensue and Sonata will win.
Bolton and Oiwa. That will leave them with 8. And remember, 2 people already have 10, so it would only take one more person getting to 10. So that will effectively knock them out. And by them coming out in the first 2 matches, that's Gato loves to book like a domino effect, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Each match affects everything that comes next. So it just makes too much sense to knock both of those guys out in those first 2 matches, especially since they're facing people who are already eliminated who can't affect things.
Yeah, this is night 15 that we're talking about, by the way, which is
Yes.
August 10th, the last A block.
So those of you who wanted Oiwa through, it's not looking good based on his.
I would not bet on Oiwa. Yeah.
Yeah, based on the match placement. The other thing is, even if he wins, he's not guaranteed anything because he'll be in that huge blob of tens.
Yeah, he'd have to really fuck around with those tiebreakers a lot. Next match on that, number 3, is Tsuji versus Newman. Tsuji versus Callum Newman.
Okay, so Tsuji's winning that match. That will eliminate Newman officially because then 3 guys will have 10.
Yeah.
And then Tsuji will be waiting on pins and needles for tiebreakers and such.
Yeah. So right after that is going to be Tanahashi versus Evil is your semi-main.
And I'm sticking with it. I think Tanahashi defeats Evil, and ultimately that's going to eliminate Evil. But give me the next match so I can confirm that.
Yuya Uemura versus Finlay.
Okay, so if Finlay wins that, Finlay, Evil, Uemura, and Tanahashi will have 10. Evil will have losses to Finlay, Uemura, and Tanahashi. It would eliminate Evil.
Yeah.
But see, I don't know if they're going to go with the 5-way tie.
No, I don't.
And break it that way. So something that we worked out here is going to be different. I think, see, there's no way to get to that semi-main event and guarantee that Evil's knocked out if he loses. You can't do that. There's no math that works for that. So I think that maybe they will go with that 5-way tie scenario then. That would then knock out. Tanahashi would go through. He would only have 1 loss to those guys. Uemura would go through. He would only have 1 loss to that group of 5. Tsuji would have 3 losses. Evil would have 4 losses. Who's the other guy?
Sorry, you just went over a bunch of names. Which
Tanahashi, Uemura, Tsuji, Evil. Oh, Finlay. And Finlay would have 1 loss. It would be Finlay, Tanahashi, and Uemura in a 5-way tie. And I think after when Finlay wins that main event, okay, you know, the guy does the announcement. He would announce Uemura and Finlay. He would save Tanahashi for last, and the building explodes. That's your G1 final night.
Maybe get Tanahashi peeking through the curtain. Our classic, our favorite thing ever.
Because he always announces it, even when it's obvious. The fans, people don't follow this like we do.
No. Most people have no fucking idea. They're not sitting there with the tiebreakers and going, oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So if you do everything the way we laid it out, they'll get on the mic, and the guy will get on. He'll say Yuya Uemura, he'll say David Finlay, and then he'll pause for the last one, and he'll say Tanahashi, and the place will go fucking nuts.
So Chris Sampson, who's been working this stuff out as well, he's in the chat room. He says, quote, there is no scenario where Hiroshi Tanahashi goes into the knockout stage without either Evil going in with him or Yuya and Finlay both going in. So Tanahashi
that's
goes
the one
in.
we did.
Yeah, and that's the one you did. He says that's very surprising, but...
Yeah, we went with the Yuya Finlay.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people would probably go with the Tsuji, trying to get Tsuji involved in there, right? Like your scenario is a little wild because Tsuji
my scenario is dependent on Tanahashi knocking Evil out.
Right.
But they might not do that. Evil might not get knocked out.
Yeah, they might just have Evil beat him.
Right. Or they might have Evil and Tanahashi go through, which is also possible if some of those other matches go another way.
Can that happen, though, if Evil beats him? I don't think it will. I think if Evil beats him, he's...
No. If Evil beats him, he's gone. What I'm saying is Tanahashi can beat Evil.
Oh, and Evil can still find a way in via...
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because that's still mathematically possible. And I think Chris is saying the same thing.
Well, he's also saying both guys in the main event going through is pretty unprecedented. That the main event would be kind of
it is
nothing happening main event because it'd be like, who cares? Both the guys are going in. So
they almost never do that. And that main event is Finlay and Uemura. So that would throw a wrench in my proposition. So I don't know. I have to look at it more.
Yeah.
Or how about this? I don't look at it more and just let it play out when I watch
You
it.
could do that.
How about
That's
that?
one way. But you know what?
That's
what normal people would do. But we're not fucking normal around here. So we're going to play out scenarios in our head to figure it all out. I mean, yeah, it's pretty easy on the bottom half, but it starts getting a little tricky. That match orders, and it's always about the match order. That match order always matters, and that's certainly an interesting match order there. So very interested how that all plays out. But yeah, I might just watch it and then chill. But yeah, I think I hate to say it, but I think Evil's knocking out Tanahashi, right? I mean, I don't want that.
I thought they're going to go the other way around. I mean,
they should. I would agree, but I don't know.
The fact that it's not the main event gives me some pause. If it was the main event, Tanahashi's winning. But it's not the main event.
Yeah.
So now I'm a little less...
Yeah, the main event, no doubt about it. Yeah, if it was the main event, I think that'd be a real bad way to end a show, is to have people knock out Tanahashi in this final G1 or whatever. So, yeah, I'm with you. But I guess with seeding, with the three, you do the Uemura Finley thing is technically for seeding. If you're saying it is unprecedented, but we're also putting three people through, so it could be for a bye or for seeding or whatever. So it's not ideal, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the final. I mean, I haven't loved this G1, but I'm excited for the final couple nights here.
The one thing about Uemura is if he wins, he's guaranteed the bye.
Yeah.
We do know that.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be what you just said could be correct. The drama in the main event might not necessarily be
who gets the bye. Yeah, so
it'll be
it'll be who gets the bye.
It's Uemura. Well, it would knock Finley out still if Uemura won. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I'm still sticking with my scenario because you can go into the main event and the scenario could be if Uemura wins, he gets the bye and Finley's out. If Finley wins, they both go through, and I bet you Finley gets the bye because he only has losses to... Well, no, he lost to Tanahashi, but Tanahashi would get the bye. No, they both have one loss among the ties. Yeah, I don't know. But I think that'll be it. That'll be your drama. And that will be how they, you could plausibly put both through. Because Finley's playing for his life in that scenario.
Yeah.
And Uemura is not. But the Uemura drama is will he get the bye or not, and will he knock out Finley? So there's still enough drama there, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, okay, I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that path I laid out. We'll see.
I'm good. Anything that gets Evil out of there is it's fine with me.
Yeah, well,
Alas.
It's not, look, it's going to be 15 more years of this.
Oh, yeah. That's not going away.
Unless they change bookers. Which
Brother,
there's some
I've been bitching about the Bullet Club since 2014. It's not changing.
Look, there's some rumblings about the booker. I'll leave it at that.
Good. There should be.
Okay, there's some industry rumblings about the booker. If they change bookers and you bring someone in who completely wants to revamp everything, that's your only hope. If not, the House of Torture is going to go on for like another decade in some form.
Heat. He loves his heat.
Because Gato, Jado, this whole brain trust, Togo, they love this shit. This is ideal pro wrestling to them. They love that Memphis shit. They love that
Memphis
Western
Heat.
wrestling.
Memphis Heat, baby.
So, and if you change bookers, but it's just another guy with the same philosophy, that's just rearranging deck chairs. All right, what else we got?
Let's do CMLL real quick. So August 1st, they had their Arena Mexico show, obviously, on the Friday. The main event was the one we really want to talk about. We can go over the rest of the card if you really want to, but the main event I thought was worth discussing on this show at least, because it was MJF. MJF going to Mexico, facing Averno for the CMLL World Light Heavyweight Championship. Now, that title is kind of interesting. We'll talk about it in a little bit. It's not very prestigious, but hey, MJF defeated Averno. He won the match. Interesting match, which we'll talk about in a sec. But hey, it gives him a title to bring on to Dynamite. He with his bright, shiny new CMLL title or whatever. I don't know for how long he's going to have it for because he's got to face another competitor here in a week or so. But yeah, MJF defeated Averno. 12 minutes and 8 seconds, the main event of Arena Mexico. Now, I do not believe this is a sold-out Arena Mexico.
No, it was.
It was sold out. Okay, so this one did sell out.
Yeah. They did a massive crowd, I thought.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of the week before that they didn't
One
sell
of us
out.
is wrong. Let's.
I thought they didn't sell out, but...
No, I think this was... I mean, listen, I could 100% be wrong, but I think this was another massive sellout, in fact, because the crowd was hot. I didn't think the card was that good.
It was not.
But I do think, and maybe we could check on that while we're talking about it. But yeah, MJF beats Averno for the World Light Heavyweight, the CMLL World Light Heavyweight title. It was a leg match.
All right, you ready for me to jump in here? LuchaBlog.com. This show was the first Friday night show in about a month not to sell out.
Okay, so you were right. Does he have a number?
No.
Okay.
Don't have a number. Just did not.
So
sell
that could be 11,000.
Right. I'm sure it was still a good crowd. Yeah, it wasn't 5,000 people in the Arena Mexico for sure.
Right. What was I talking about? Oh, the match.
The match.
Okay,
yeah.
So it was a leg match with Averno, and yeah, it was fine. It was nothing special. It was a good match, not a great match. It's a weird psychology because Averno's a Rudo. Then Zando Khan comes in to get nose-to-nose with MJF, and he is usually a Rudo, although he has babyface tendencies at times, but was definitely a Rudo in the semi-main event as they beat fucking Neon, Templario, and Teton, right? So that's weird, right? Because you have the American heel.
Yeah, I feel like no matter what, if you're just a Mexican dude against the American heel, it's like no matter what. Because, you know what I mean? Like, even if you are supposed to be a Rudo, like Averno here, they loved him. They were all on board with Averno, and they were all on board with Zando Khan Jr. afterwards. So I think it's like, as long as you're challenging MJF and telling him, like, you're an asshole or whatever, they don't really care. Because they're just... And MJF gets mega fucking heat, by the way. Anybody that's like, oh, it's all this baby's first heel stuff. Baby's first heel shit works all the time. The guy comes out in his USA trunks. He has John Cruz with him. He says Mexico sucks and you're stinky and you smell. And they all boo when they want to see him get his ass kicked. It works. It always works. You know what I mean? Like, it's people are like, oh, it's boring. No, it always fucking works because this crowd wanted this man to die. And Averno, who's not, the biggest babyface in the company, he's not a babyface at all, is the biggest face in the company because they want him to fucking beat MJF's ass so badly. But yeah, it does not happen. Like I said, a pretty base. I mean, Averno basically beat up MJF for a good portion of the match, and MJF sold and screamed and screamed and screamed or whatever. Then MJF started to work over his leg and put him in a half crab. And the referee called for the bell, but I guess earlier. I don't know. MJF was pissed about something. I don't know if he called the bell too early or whatever. Cubs fan basically just said like, you deal with CML referees, they're kind of bad, so who knows? But because like he locks in this half crab, and it's like 0.2 seconds later, and the referee's like, nope, it's over. Ding, 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 ding. And MJF, you could see, it was just like, the fuck, man. Like, so I'm guessing he was supposed to really wrench it in, and they were supposed to build up some drama. And the referee just said, oh, yeah, that's the finish. All right.
It's a difference between wrestling cultures and also the difference between referees who are good and referees who are bad. MJF very likely wanted to do the American style, really milk the hold.
Right. Averno reaching for the ropes, then pull him into the middle, and then he taps or whatever, yeah.
But often in Lucha, a guy will get put in a submission, and the opponent starts waving his hands, and it's over immediately. Like they don't,
or the referee makes the assumption that you cannot get to the ropes and you cannot continue to be in this hold, so I'm going to call the match,
They don't milk submissions the way that they do in American Japanese wrestling.
Mystico gets that armbar, and it's 0.2 seconds later, and the referee, because the referee's like, you're not getting out of this. He's got that move. You're done. Ding, ding, ding. It's over.
How many times have you seen Atlantis historically put a guy on his back and the guy's just flapping his hands and it's just fucking over?
Right.
So it's like, that's just the way. Yeah. So that was probably the confusion and the miscommunication there. I didn't even notice it myself, to be honest. I guess I wasn't paying.
I read it first and then I watched. So I know. And so you can see. I'm looking for it. So it was a little more obvious when you're looking for it.
Yeah. So I mean, he had John Cruz with him, obviously, as to help him communicate with people and everything. Although I think MJF knows a little bit of Spanish, but there's a difference between knowing, what you learned in high school and having functional conversations with intricate business things and match finishes and stuff like that.
It's also better heat too to have like MJF cut his promo in English and then have the flag bearer and then John Cruz cut it in Spanish, because then it's like, oh, fuck this guy. Right. This guy's an asshole. Just Right.
So you definitely know what he's saying, and all of that. I would like to see AEW connect MJF with John Cruz now to keep the entire continuity. He doesn't have to come with him down to the ring or anything, but it wouldn't kill AEW if MJF maybe mentioned him in a promo, or it could be just a passing thing. Just my pal John Cruz. it won't mean anything to a lot of the people watching. It super serves your most loyal audience who follows Worldwide Wrestling, though, to do something like that.
Well, the next time, or at Forbidden Door, the next time Mystico shows up, John Cruz is by MJF's side and says, hey, what's he saying? Tell me what he's saying, John, or whatever. Cruz is kind of there as his translator. I think that works.
You could even wink at the audience and have him talk shit about Serpentico or something. I just want something.
A little nugget. You want just a little nugget.
Yeah. I want it acknowledged. But I think there was bad news coming out as Flip Gordon got hurt on this show.
He busted up his knee pretty bad, and there was the assumption that it was okay because he was joking around the next day. But that assumption turned to, no, he's going to be out for a very, very long time.
There are guys that tear ligaments in their knees in professional sports who don't even, same thing, they don't realize they're hurt until they get looked at. And they're like, what, really? And sometimes that happens.
Or the swelling goes down. Sometimes the adrenaline and the swelling is better. You feel better. No, I'm good. And then the next day the swelling goes down a little bit. The adrenaline wears off and you're like, oh, I'm fucked. Or like you said, you go under the knife and the doctor's like, your knee's jacked beyond belief. You're really screwed.
Yeah, there's a Reds pitcher right now who was rehabbing some other injury, and they were checking up on something else in his arm, and they revealed to him that he needs Tommy John surgery. And he was like, what? I've been throwing. I feel fine. And they're like, no, you're fucked. So sometimes it's just you hurt yourself and you don't even realize it, for whatever reason. So, yes, anyway, the card I didn't think was anything. It was one of the weaker Friday card. I don't watch every single Friday. I watch a lot of them. But it was a pretty weak card, and it wasn't a great main event or anything, but it was obviously a very newsworthy show. So the Zandokan Jr. MJF match is happening next Friday.
Yep, that is next Friday. So the August 15th. Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else from the show that you wanted to talk about? Anybody else that stood out to you or anything? No, I don't think
anything else on the show is. They were just matches on this show.
Yeah.
I thought that the match, the semi-main event had its moments, but I've seen better out of literally every person in that match. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the Panthers early on in the show.
That was my favorite match of the entire night, but that's
pretty good.
Yeah, it was wild and crazy and a bunch of jumping around or whatever, but yeah, it wasn't like.
I can't go tell people they got to go watch it.
No.
So our boy Okamura was on the show with the kid from Cleat.
Yeah, right? he's all demonic now. He's got his boy Utani. It's Utani and Okamura, and they got their black eyeliner on, and they're the Los Diminos Samurais or whatever the fuck they are.
Dookie.
Yeah. I forgot Dookie was a heel. I always forget that Dookie is in the House of Torture. Because Dookie came out and everyone's like, boo. And I'm like, what are you booing Dookie for? And then I was like, why is he all evil? And then I was like, oh, right. He's in the House of Torture. Fuck. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that was the Flip Gordon match with Star Jr. and Capitan Suicida. So.
That match fell apart. When Flip Gordon got hurt, you could tell that they kind of had everything planned to use Flip Gordon, because then it was up to Okamura and Utani, who's not very good either, to do a lot of that match. Once Flip got out, they didn't know what to do, and they got through that last fall pretty quickly.
Yeah, so I don't really have much to add on the rest of the show, to be honest.
No, it's unfortunately that's a big reason why we don't cover. I keep an eye on CML all the time. I know you do as well. I watch a lot of these Friday shows, and I don't really have anything that I don't have any strong thoughts. They're pretty enjoyable shows for the most part, but I don't usually have a whole lot to say. So, I don't cover them on the show that often. Cause
even when they're good, it's hard to break down because there's a lot of matches that don't have anything to do with story on these shows. So from that standpoint, you could really only come on here and tell the audience, oh, it was a good match, go watch it. I don't have anything else to really break down. Yeah. Unless I get into nuts and bolts of work and things like that. But this show, these were just, the matches were ranged from fine to not very good. And, it was a newsworthy main event. So,
real quickly, just a couple things I want to do for CMLL to catch us up here. The Grand Prix, they announced this on the show that's going to take place on August 29th in Arena, Mexico. 20 participants will take part in this match, second time in the history. So your rest of the world team leads off. ML Dub. Donovan Dijak coming to CMLL to represent ML Dub. So he'll be in the rest of the world team. Taiji Ishimori of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Michael Oku of Rev Pro. Robbie X also of Rev Pro. Rocky Romero of AEW. Leo Rush of AEW. Action Andretti of AEW. Mike Bailey of AEW. The Beast Mortos of AEW. And our guy, CJ, TJP representing New Japan Strong. Not New Japan. New Japan Strong.
Yes. New Japan Strong.
New Japan Strong. His logo was very clearly New Japan Strong, not New Japan. So I don't know. It's Team CMLL, Mystico, Volador, Mascara Dorada, Neon, Atlantis Jr., Templario, Titan, Angel Doro, Zenocan Jr., and Defunto is your Team CMLL. So I always want to like these matches, and then I never end up actually liking them. Do you ever watch these Grand Prix matches? They're kind of
they're not my favorite either.
I don't like them. I see it. I'm like, that's a lot of names. That's cool. And then I watch the match. I'm like, I don't really enjoy this at all. Like last year, there was the Death Riders were in that one or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a really cool lineup. And then I was
like,
I don't like this match at all. Like it's not that fun.
Yeah, it was all right. I just want to see lucha trios matches with cool guys doing cool shit.
Right. I just want to see the Panthers flying around and shit.
Yeah.
So
and give me the Panthers flying around, or use Sky Team in that.
The Panthers flew around that match a lot. Yeah, they were
fly. Yeah. And big singles matches. I love the big singles matches and the pomp and circumstance and the drama that's around them, especially if it's a mask or a hair match or something like that, or a title match where at least we can be invested. Their fans don't really care about the titles that much. It's almost like putting that title on MJF means way more for MJF's presentation in AEW than it does to the title actually changing in CMLL. Where it really doesn't matter.
Title, and that's what I wanted to point out too. That title is pretty worthless in CMLL, to be honest. Like Averno's been the champion for 490 days. He won it in March of 2024. His title's only had 4 champions since May of 2017. Niebel Roja won the title in June of 2017 and held it for 1,861 days until July 15, 2022. He defended it 8 times during those nearly 2,000 days. Then Kevin Ario had it for 623 days, and he didn't defend it that much either.
I remember the title change with Averno.
Yeah.
I remember I think we
talked about it. Yeah.
Was it us or was it just me by myself?
I don't remember. I remember that match for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I remember that match. I remember that title change. But did MJF mention on air that it's a light heavyweight title? Because when he won it, I thought to myself, they're not going to mention. Because
I don't think he did. Yeah, I forget what he said.
There's a perception. Yeah. There's a perception issue that a lot of fans have with that. It wouldn't bother me. Who cares? You know what I mean? It's like, but it's funny. I don't think he mentioned it on Dynamite that it was a light.
Yeah, it's not
title.
1987 anymore. It's not like Mr. Electricity Steve Regal and
Right.
It's like everybody can win these things.
Denny Brown.
Denny Brown. Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
It was always those two guys. I feel like those two guys had that title forever, right? It was never anybody else.
It was built around Denny Brown for a long time.
Yeah.
And Les Thornton.
Les Thornton's the other one. Yeah.
Les Thornton and Denny Brown opened up so many Jim Crockett shows for that junior heavyweight title or whatever. Yeah, during that peak era, of Crockett, where you put on, oh, cool, new show got on, and it opens up without fucking fail with Denny Brown and Les Thornton for the junior heavyweight
Regal,
title.
Yeah, there was when WCW, the YouTube channel, was uploading all the old Great American Bashes or whatever. I was like, oh hell yeah! So I turned them on. Every single one was like a Steve Regal match. I forget who he was against in all of them, but it was like I watched so many of them that I was like, Steve Regal's pretty good actually. So I ended up enjoying my man, Mr. Electricity Steve Regal. But
you're the only one who's ever enjoyed Mr. Electricity.
I watched so many of them in a row that I was like, actually, this guy's pretty good.
You know that his nickname was a rib.
Of course,
you know that, right?
Yeah.
Because he was very much the opposite of Electric.
Yeah.
So like he was given that as like a rib, and he just used it. So some good comments. Grant Akuma says when he wrecked his knee in ROH, he finished the match and went to the back. When he tried to stand up 20 minutes later, he immediately collapsed. So that's kind of what we were talking about. Suit Williams says MJF called it the CMLL World Title.
Oh.
And then Mr. Super Tall Black Man sort of corrects Suit, but not entirely. He says MJF called it the world title, but then commentary clarified what it is.
Okay.
So Excalibur must have stepped in there, Mr. Pedantic that he is, and clarified. And that works too, because it like puts heat on MJF for like trying to overinflate the thing that he won, like in kayfabe. So I do kind of like that too, him being corrected. But I should have paid attention to that last night, but we got people who did, so we get the scoop on that. All right, what else we got here?
Also the anniversary show, which is coming up September 19th.
Yeah.
Plenty of time for that, but they're starting to get this card together. You said you want big stakes. You're going to get a hair versus hair match, sir. Ray Bucanero and Felino. One-on-one. And then I guess we're going to have some titles or masks potentially on the line. We got an eliminator match. Ultimo Guerrero and Averno versus Dragon Roja Jr. and Cavanario versus Esfinge and El Valiente. And then whatever team, they'll go to the match in the main event. And then
whoa, you lost me. So this is a three-way.
It's a three-way eliminator. Yeah.
With the reverse machismo lucha style.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah. So in one of those teams, probably Esfinge and El Valiente will I'm guessing Ultimo and Averno. Well, I mean, Ultimo could get a haircut, I guess, or Averno could get a haircut, I suppose.
Two pretty big stars, though.
Yeah, well, a haircut's not bad. We're not.
Yeah, but look at their opponents. Who's the third team?
Esfinge and El Valiente.
No, I know the third team.
Oh, Dragon Roja, and Cavanario.
They could lose.
Yeah,
I'm not locked into this story. I'd have to catch up on the old Lucha blog. But just based on who's in it, I could see either of those other. I mean, I could see those two guys losing their hair before Esfinge loses his mask.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because Rojo's already unmasked, right?
Yeah.
Who's even masked on it? Oh, Esfinge, right? Would still be
Esfinge. That's pretty much.
So
it.
he would lose his mask.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Which
is
a bigger deal than getting your head shaved.
For sure. Yeah.
And he's got the whole Egyptian gimmick going. And
yeah. I don't want to. Yeah, I like his thing. I don't want him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody else is just hair, right? I guess Valiente is masked too, so we could potentially get a mask versus mask, right? He's still got his mask.
Valiente, I confuse some of these guys.
Yeah, I think he still has his mask, so it could potentially
didn't
be.
he just lose his mask?
Oh
no.
No,
who am I thinking of? Who just lost their mask? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Star Junior. Are you thinking about Star Junior?
Star Junior. Somebody else just lost their mask too. When I say just lost their mask, maybe it was like.
I think Valiente took someone's mask, if I remember correctly, right? Or no, a 91st anniversary show. Someone got Hechicero took someone's mask. Whose mask did he take? Chat room's gonna scream. Someone in this chat room is screaming.
Well, that's good. I mean, they'll give us the fucking answer. Euphoria.
Euphoria. That's right.
Euphoria.
Yeah.
That's right. I confused Valiente with Euphoria.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
This guy in the chat room says Esfinge without that mask. I mean, I don't know. Do you know what Esfinge looks like? I don't know. Is
he an ugly guy? I don't know.
Slime
How would anyone
seems
know?
to think he is. I don't know. We don't know that. These masks surprise you sometimes.
You never know what you're going to
Dr. Wagner, the all-time case where we're like, what the fuck? Why were you wearing a mask forever? Like, handsome grandpa, Dr. Wagner, man. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Star Junior, that was an ugly, ugly man.
Yeah.
People always argue with me. They're like, he's not ugly, he's handsome. I'm like, what?
No.
Star Junior? That guy looks like a fucking heel. He looks like he'd be the lead heel in like
a teen comedy, yeah.
Yeah, like he just looks like a fucking heel. I don't know.
He just looks like a heel. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
And he tried to shoot his own angle and turn heel. And the company, I guess, wasn't having it. And he's just been working on the fucking babyface side ever since, which was weird. He wanted to be a heel, but they said, nah, it's not going to work for us.
Oh, people pointing out Esfinge is Mr. Tessa Blanchard. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Probably a decent looking dude then, right?
Some good TMZ.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's not.
I mean, I don't think she would date. I don't think she would date like an ugly dude, right? I don't know.
She's not exactly Miss America.
No, I know she's not Miss America. I don't think she would date an ugly ass dude, right?
I mean, I guess not.
Like we know Beast Morton. Like you could just. I mean, obviously Mercedes is, but you could guarantee that Beast Morton is probably a pretty attractive guy. Right?
Oh yeah, Beast Mortos is probably an absolute stud.
Yeah, we know that.
But I'm not so convinced with this Esfinge just based on the fact he's dating Tessa Blanchard.
I think she's got a better pick of the litter than most people would have.
Really?
In the professional wrestling business, I think.
Well,
so.
She's been with Ricochet.
That's what I'm saying. Look at her.
She's been with Daga.
Yeah.
He's a decent looking guy.
I guess he's okay. Yeah.
He's better looking than Star Junior.
Well, yeah. Is that we're from the here forward? Are you better looking than Star Junior or not? Is how we determine if you're a good looking guy or not. Yeah.
I didn't know they were a thing.
Yeah,
Esfinge.
they're in. I don't know if they are still an item, but they were at one point in item. So she takes like lovey, their Instagram photos, she's kissing him while he's wearing the mask or whatever. So
what does Esfinge translate to? Like pharaoh or something?
It's something like that. Yeah, I forget exactly.
Just based on his fucking gear, I guess it would be like a
Sphinx. I think it's Sphinx. Actually, I think it's literally the translation of Sphinx. So.
All right. That makes sense. Yeah. Esfinge, Sphinx.
Yeah.
Both impossible to pronounce. Yeah, it makes sense.
And we'll find out if he loses his mask. I don't think we.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he's ready to start making some money. Maybe he's a good-looking guy, and he's like, I got to start making some money.
Yeah.
Maybe Tess is in his ears saying, hey, take that mask off.
I mean, he's ripped. He's got a nice body.
I mean, the guy's got confidence. He's got a good body. If we're going by baseball scouts from the 80s, like he's got, I guess you would say he's got the ugly girlfriend thing. You would say he doesn't have confidence because he's got the ugly girlfriend. That's you.
I'm just going to say it. I don't find her attractive.
I don't really find her attractive. I'm just saying that I think.
And here the thing about it is I'm always hesitant to do that because people have different tastes.
Yeah. Well, luckily with her, no one's going to care. So
that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
you got a good runway there because then they're going to have to defend Tessa Blanchard. And then yikes to you, sir, defending Tessa Blanchard in the comments. Thanks to you. But
first of all, it's like if it doesn't have to do with their performance or something, I really don't like to go there because who cares, right? But the other thing is everyone has different tastes in who they're attracted to. And if for whatever reason, it's human nature. People are very defensive if you don't find someone attractive that they find attractive.
Yes.
Do you notice that?
Oh, yeah.
People get like, but really, who cares? It's like liking a song and someone else not liking a song. Like I don't know why it bothers people so much. Like it doesn't bother me if I'm attracted, if I think some celebrity's hot and someone says, "Oh, I'm not into her." It means nothing to me. But people get really bothered by that, so I try to stay away from it on the show for both of those reasons. Sometimes.
I also don't care that much. It doesn't really bother. I mean,
yes,
it doesn't
exactly.
bother. It's like, okay, I don't, I'm just talking about wrestling. I don't give a fuck if someone's hot or not. It doesn't do anything for me. But except for Star Jr., who was not hot.
Well, and Mama Wayne. Hello. Hey.
Oh, yeah, Mama Wayne. Yeah.
Hubba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know me. You know my taste. That works for me. So. I was talking with Case about that. Can you imagine at any point telling Buddy Wayne, hey, your wife is going to be like a national TV star and like a sex symbol, like a MILF sex symbol?
MILF.
You know what I mean? Like tell Buddy Wayne in 2002, your wife is going to be on national wrestling television and be a MILF sex symbol. What do you think about that?
Presented like someone in a cougar porn. That's
right.
Oh, God.
And your son's going to constantly have to tell people in the crowd, stop talking about my mom like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knew? But anyway, I think that's it for us. I got nothing else on the list. We'll talk about Triple Mania next week.
Yeah, we got time for that one.
WWE Triple Mania, yeah.
Hey, I checked out this Reddit thread. I think it has my fix. It's describing my problem, and he had allegedly this workaround. I understand what the guy's saying.
Okay, because this is the same issue you're having.
Exact same issue. And this guy's workaround, which has been upvoted 258 times and not downvoted once, which is a pretty good tip-off it works, right? Because if it didn't work, people would be downvoting it. So, and I totally understand what he's saying to do. So I'm going to go try this when the show ends. And it would be on my YouTube account, I guess. I'm going to test it. And then if it works, I'm going to play round 4 of the U.S. Amateur Open. I'm tied going into Sunday.
Oh,
so
wow.
That'll be interesting.
That's a big one.
It's a big tournament because, first of all, it's the kickstart of my career. And by the way, my guy looks like a cross between you and JJ Redick.
It really did. I saw it. Yeah.
Because it's the closest I could get. There's not a lot of options.
Yeah.
I figured,
if you combine me and JJ Redick, it's a pretty attractive generic white guy for sure. So he's adding more to the attraction than me. I'm adding more of the generic white guy. But he's a very generic white guy, JJ Redick, with the fucking hair. He's got the hair, the little bit of stubble. It's like, fuck off, dude. Go away with his perfect clothes and his perfect body. Get the fuck out of here.
Whoa, you're really mad at JJ Redick here.
Nah, who's not mad at JJ Redick, for God's sake?
Hold on. Does the nurse want to bang JJ Redick?
I think she has no idea who JJ Redick is.
Oh, okay.
No, I think no. You know what? She would find him annoying. She would think he's too conventionally attractive. She doesn't like conventionally attractive people. She clearly she's with me. I was going to say, yeah. So
clearly,
yeah, very obviously. But no, who's got time for conventionally attractive people? That's boring.
Yeah, I don't know. There just seems to be a lot of vitriol in these JJ Redick comments. But okay,
actually, I liked Redick as a player. I liked him a lot as a player.
I hated that prick as a player. Well, I didn't in college because he went to Duke, but you're talking about the NBA.
Oh, I watched him at Duke. I was watching a lot of college basketball in his day.
How'd that motherfucker manage to go to Duke and play for like 19 NBA teams and has never won a title?
Oh, damn, he never won. Yeah, you're right. He never won a national title?
Duke. He tap danced around those landmines. He never won a title at Duke.
I thought he won one. Wow.
Nope.
Okay.
Good. I hope he never wins one.
Well, he's never going to. Yeah, guys. I guess he can coach the Los Angeles Lakers 2-1, but I don't. I wouldn't bet on that one right now. So
yeah, the options weren't plentiful on the game. So that's like the only white guy head with facial hair that I had to choose from.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta take this guy, I guess. So we'll see if it fucking works, and you can watch me choke in the final round of the. It's a big tour. Not only is it the first tournament in my career, because I started as an amateur. I didn't skip to the tour. That's cheap. So if I win this, though, I get automatic entry to the Masters as an amateur. So this is a big tournament, Rich Craich, if I can win this one, because then I'm playing in the Masters. And I don't know how that works on this game, but I assume all the golfers that came with the game will be playing against me in that deal.
And none of the live guys. The live guys won't be in there.
No, including Scotty Scheffler, who obviously is probably maxed out on everything because he never loses. But we'll see. I got to get through this round 4, though.
Yeah. So. Well, and this is the one reason, then we'll sign off. This is one reason I think you might enjoy Happy Gilmore is because one of the main central plot points of Happy Gilmore is that there's this upstart golf league that's ruining golf and making it all stupid and stuff. So they have the real golfers defend the sport of golf. But, like, there's a couple live guys in there. Like, you guys don't realize they're such fucking sellouts. And they just, they know, this movie is laughing at them.
It's a send-up of you, Bryson DeChambeau.
You fucking idiots. Now, I don't know enough about the guys that are in live or who's not.
Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head?
If you give me names,
all
I know.
Let me go golf cameos. And the golf guys are actually very good in the movie. They're the best parts, to be honest. But, all right. Let me see if I can figure out the golf dudes that are in there. Professional golfer cameos. Okay. Keegan Bradley. I think he still might be on the PGA Tour, but I haven't seen him finish. You know what? He might have been one of the older guys. They had a couple older guys in there too.
Keegan Bradley's still on the PGA Tour. I'm almost positive.
Okay, because they had like Fred Couples and stuff like that, and some, but that was more like they're being old or whatever. Nick Faldo or whatever.
Keegan Bradley's not an older guy. He's back end of his prime, but he's on the tour. I'm almost positive he's on the tour.
All right, so the big guys were. Let me see if I can get this did not work out well.
How the fuck did you get Keegan Bradley and you didn't get anybody
else?
Well,
give me everybody, and then it was like a bunch of people that I'm like, I don't even remember that guy being in the.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what the hell they were. Because there was also like, the problem too is this movie is just filled with fucking cameos, because that's like, because movies suck now.
It's the hook.
So it's just like 1,000 times over. It's like, oh, there's that guy. Oh, there's this guy. Oh, that guy. It's like, can we just tell a story? Do we need to have guys just inserting themselves in every scene so you can go, oh, that's that guy. I know who that guy is. So Rory is in there. Rory is obviously a PGA guy, right?
Yeah.
Still, yeah, he didn't leave.
Hardcore, he ain't going.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka, he stayed there.
Live.
So he's an essential part of this story of the guys defending golf against the upstart league, which is trying to make fun of traditional golf and says traditional golf is boring, so we're going to do teams and fireworks. And Becky Lynch is indeed in part of this other startup team. So Brooks Koepka has to eat shit in this movie. That's fantastic.
Brooks
I love that.
Koepka plays 3-round shotgun golf in his shorts on the live tour.
Oh, it's so good. I thought so. I was watching. I was like, one of these guys has to be a live dude, and they're just sitting here eating shit this entire time. Justin Thomas. I don't know who Justin Thomas is, but
Justin Thomas, again, I haven't seen him on leaderboards in a long time, which tells me that he kind of fell off. I think he's still a PGA Tour guy.
All right, Ricky Fowler's there for just a minute. He doesn't do much.
Who else?
Let's see. Colin Morikawa.
Colin Morikawa is, I believe, still on the tour.
Okay.
So far, just
Brooks
Brooks Koepka.
Scotty Scheffler.
Obviously, he's on the tour.
Yeah, he's PGA. Okay, so it might just be. Bryson's in there. That Bryson DeChambeau
Bryson
or whatever.
DeChambeau.
Yep.
Live.
That's so good.
Live.
Jordan Spieth.
Bryson DeChambeau, by the way, also on the MAGA committee that Levesque was put on last week.
Oh, that's
with the health,
the presidential fitness test. Yeah.
Yes, he's part of that as well. So,
okay, all right.
Have whatever opinion you want on that.
Right, insert opinion here. Yeah.
Who'd you say? Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth.
He's on the tour.
Okay, so just Bryson and Brooks.
Brooks, Koepka, and Bryson, who are, by the way, mortal enemies. They hate each other.
Really?
Like,
okay.
Oh, my God. Long-standing feud. I think they kind of buried the hatchet a little, but you can tell that, like, Bryson is like, he is a lack of self-awareness, like, asswipe. And Koepka kind of just rolls his eyes at him now and tolerates him more than I think flat out likes him. But they once were, like, absolute mortal enemies. So I don't know if the movie does anything to play off of that.
Yeah, I'd have to. I don't remember, but I'd have to go back to that. But the golf cameos, they're all really like the golfers are really good. And it's pretty funny. But I was like, what? Some of these dudes have to be live guys, right? And yeah, that's incredible that they just have to eat shit because they're such sellouts that they're getting paid a lot for this movie. So they're like, yeah, I don't care. They're such fucking goobers and such fucking sellouts. They're like, yeah, we'll talk shit about our own because it's all they're making fun of you, dude. The whole movie's about how you sold the game out.
Is golf hottie Nelly Corda in the movie?
I think so, actually.
Oh, okay.
Nelly Corda. I think so. It's that's a name I remember. Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
she looks familiar.
Oh, does she now?
No. I mean, from the movie.
You follow her on the gram?
This is a golf hottie?
They say. So they say.
Yeah.
Nelly Corda. Yeah.
Well, all right.
So she's your Tessa Blanchard.
I guess so. This is the hottie of golf?
Well, you don't like tall blondes. She's 5'10" and blonde. That's not for you. Mama Wayne.
Yeah, I was going to say. But there's some other reasons why Mama Wayne works.
Oh, you like them hoots? Rich likes that sweater meat.
Look at it. It's a good thick woman. That's fine. Yeah,
Oh, all right. Yeah, sure.
The boots. All right. I think we're done here, right?
All right. Did we get to everything?
Everything that we wanted to. We bailed on the things we didn't want to get to, and we covered everything we needed to get to. So, yeah, I think we're done.
Rich is a big fan of Disturbed. He's down with the thickness.
Okay. Yeah, we're done here. All right. Flagship, patreon.com for all of our bonus content, written stuff there, audio. Thursday Dynamite reviews. Our SummerSlam recap and review is on there. Tour of the Territories. 31 weeks of the Tour of the Territories up there. 32 week will be up pretty soon. That might be delayed by a day or two. Sturgis Stories, my new Road Wild series. That you should get a new episode by the time most of you guys listen to that. Will be up right now on the $5 tier, flagshippatreon.com. And maybe Joe playing golf video games. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows what is going to be available to you at flagshippatreon.com. I want to thank you guys, of course, for supporting everything we do there at flagshippatreon.com. Really appreciate it. But
I have never had to piss harder, and my Sonic cup is full.
Okay,
so
all right. That is Jolanza. I'm Rich Graves. We'll talk to you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hi, I'm Andrew Rich. And if you're like me, you look at the state of modern wrestling discourse and think, wow, what a cesspool. That's why I'm here to tell you about Music of the Mat Remix. That's right, your favorite wrestling music podcast is back with a new format, where I bring on a guest and we play songs related to wrestling-themed topics. It could be a wrestling reference, a wrestling concept, a wrestling pun, things of that nature. Now you might be saying, Andrew, that is a very, very tenuous connection to pro wrestling on a wrestling podcast network. Is this just an excuse to hang out with your friends and talk about music and ignore the rest of the wrestling landscape? Yes. Yes, it is. So listen to Music of the Mat Remix on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on Apple, Spotify, or your podcast player of choice.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the co-hosts of Jumping Bomb Audio, the #1 show all about the world of Joshi Pro Wrestling. Every other Monday, we're coming at you with news, show reviews, and previews of upcoming Joshi action.
So whether you're just getting into the scene or you've seen it all, this is the show for you.
Check us out on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network and wherever you get your audio.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.